You're listening to The Pete Shepherd Show.
The righties 1-2. And right base at center field. Romy scores. Marcelo trying to score. The throw home. He's in. And the Red Sox lead it 4-3. That did not take very long, did it?
4 hitters in. Mentioned this kid struggled as this timeout for Baltimore. He still hasn't got an out. He's given up 7 runs without giving an out.
Shazam! That was my favorite superhero back in the day, not Superman. We'll get into that later on. How about the Boston Red Sox? 7 straight wins. They take over sole possession of that third wild card spot and creeping up on Tampa Bay for the second spot. And the Yankees, for that matter. Man, oh man, we got a lot of MLB news to talk about today. Not the stupid summer league in the NBA, I can tell you that. Good morning, everybody. Unlike national shows, they're just so lazy, they talk about the summer league in the NBA. I don't give a shit what Cooper Flagg did. I don't care that Bronny James missed the last shot. I care about my Red Sox, and I care about Major League Baseball, and about what's going on as we head into the All-Star break. Welcome to my show. I am Pete. He is Angel Martinez. This is the Pete Shepherd Show here on a Freaky Friday. 7-Eleven Day, Angel. Not Wawa Day, but 7-Eleven Day. Go out and get your Slurpee. Still have those? Anyway, well, thanks for checking us out across the video platform this morning here on Twitter X. Following me at PShep326 on our Facebook pages, on the Coastal Sports Network Facebook page, my Facebook page, and I think other Facebook pages as well. On YouTube, Kick, Rumble, CSN Florida, LinkedIn, and of course the great app that we have right there. It's SR1029 The Game, SR1029 The Game. .com. Call or text the show as always, 727-858-6650, 727-858-6650. Yes, I'm in full Red Sox gear today. Exciting win last night. Good to see a good character win come from that. Now, when the Red Sox score first now, they're 21 games or 22 games over 500. But they were trailing last night 3-1, which we'll get to. So that's the first time they've been losing by a couple of runs in a while. And that was a great character game. Walker Buehler pitched, for him, pretty decent for the second straight start, so that's always a good sign. But they gained ground. Seattle somehow blew that game against the Yankees last night. It helped out the Red Sox. So they've taken over sole possession of the third wild card spot again. There's a long way to go here. 3 more games against Tampa Bay, the All-Star break, and then an absolute brutal killer of a schedule that'll feature them playing at the Cubs, home against the Dodgers, home and away against the Astros at Kansas City, Minnesota. I mean, it is a brutal schedule, so I've circled, I think, August 13th. If they are where they are right now, if they can go 500 the rest of the way till that mark, they should be in good shape for a possible playoff run. And then hopefully they will be buyers and not sellers. Keep hearing they're going to be buyers. They're going to be buyers, going to try to get a relief pitcher, try to get a right-handed bat. That's what we're looking for, that kind of a thing. Alex Bregman's going to play this weekend. I don't know if that means tonight or Saturday and Sunday, but more decisions for Alex Cora to make. Najee Harris almost took out his eye with his stupid fireworks. Fireworks are so overrated. I can't say it. I can't stress enough. What is wrong with you people? What is wrong with you people? You got a freaking, whatever he did. No, I'll get into it. Najee Harris almost blew his face off. Instead got an eye injury. Why? Because stupid, idiotic fireworks. It's so ridiculous, especially the ones that make that don't give you any visual stimulation. And good morning, Angel Martinez. I don't understand why people want to light off M80s or whatever the fuck they're called and throw them in the air and have a big boom. I don't get it. I never have. I never have. I just know. I don't understand it. But you idiots out there want to keep playing with fireworks and blowing your hands off. And in this case, Najee Harris had an eye injury. Go ahead. These people will never learn. Fireworks are so fucking overrated. I cannot stress enough. And I don't give a shit what kind of backlash I get about it. I don't care. They are overrated. If you can say at your home and you see a couple of flares go off and a little sparkly thing, well, that's great. At least it gives you some sort of visual stimulation if you're into that stuff. But these people that go out there and throw firecrackers, M80s and stuff 3, 4, 5 days after the 4th of July, you're a bunch of losers. Get a life. You are a bunch of losers hitting up fireworks. You're not impressing anybody. You're not. It's not appealing to anybody. It's just stupid. You're a jackass. You keep lighting off fireworks this long after the 4th of July. You're stupid. Go away. Get a life. Get a fucking life.
I've never understood that either, where people just take it. It's the days after, and then you're still firing them off, which makes no sense. And the city used to be that way, especially when I lived in South Philly, because it's all row homes, for the most part inside Center City. And then they used to let off the M80s. Like, I'm trying to sleep. I just walked in. It's 3 o'clock.
Trying to sleep. Every dog in America hates fireworks. It's just got to be. I'd start arresting people. I swear to God. And it's only big, and it's not even kids. It's a lot of older folks. I mean, older like 30s, 40s, 50s. And for some reason it's impressive to them. Why? What are you trying to prove? It's like people that rev the guys that have no muffler on the cars and they're not like 16 years old. They're like, okay. And what? That makes you more of a man than that guy? Or, I mean, what does that mean? What does that mean? I go 90 miles an hour to get to. They fly past you at 90 miles an hour to get to, and only to be stopped at the red light.
Right.
As you pull up right next to them. So you risk your life. You go 80 miles an hour over the speed limit to get to a light that you can't get through because there's 3 lanes of traffic, and now you can't weave your way, even as stupidly as you're driving, even to get through the light. And you basically slam on your brakes as I come up going normal speed. And I just look at you, and I do this all the time. Good for you. You got to the light 30 seconds quicker than I did, you fucking loser. Unbelievable. By the way, did you see the speed trap laws that are going on down here in Florida? It's awesome.
Yeah.
These idiots that go where I live, down Daniels and down 82, they try, again, I'm going to be more manual. I'm going to go 140 miles an hour because I can. No, you can't. Not anymore. Now you're going to go to jail. You're going to get a heavy fine, and you're going to go to jail. Lock them all up. I'm telling you, I wouldn't even give a second chance. If you're that stupid, going 50 plus miles an hour over the speed limit, you go directly to jail. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. In fact, it's going to cost you $2,000. It's ridiculous.
It is. I think a lot of it too is because of I-4. I-4 became like this major raceway. They think they're in the Autobahn in Germany. It's not really
it's just down here. Down here where I live, Daniels and 82 and back of me, people race from Lehigh to Fort Myers like it's like you said, like it's the Autobahn. Bunch of fucking losers. Losers. You're not a man because you can do that. You're stupid. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I don't know what you're trying to prove. I don't care what car you're driving or how impressed you are with, because you can go fast for a short period of time. All you're going to probably do eventually is kill yourself or kill somebody else. It's just so stupid. Anyway,
that's just as bad as the I love the guys and girls who do their trucks up like really nice. It's not over exaggerated. It doesn't look like a monster truck. But then you have the other ones where their wheels are so spaced out and they know they can't take a turn because you've already killed it. And then you have the super exhaust in the back, and then they hit the gas, and what do they do? Big puff of black smoke. Like, thanks. What are you, spy hunter? Like, you're not doing anything for me. You're not doing anything for yourself either. But the ones that actually they may put like a lift kit just a little bit, not enough where it's ridiculous, but it's the same way. And then they do the same thing. They'll race past you, like especially here locally in 19. It's like, okay, what do you do? So you went by me, and here we are again at that light.
Yeah. I don't get this, like, this obsessive stuff that you have to go 50 miles an hour over the speed limit to prove yourself. But now, at least in Florida, the laws are really, you can't, it's hard to do that, like in Massachusetts, even Rhode Island. I mean, it's hard to do that in New York and downtown. I mean, because there's always traffic all over the place. So you can't really go, you get pulled over for speeding, but you're not going to get anybody. I can tell you, like a 93 in Boston or the Expressway in Massachusetts. I mean, you're not going to get guys going 100 miles an hour, 120 miles because there's too much traffic. You can't do it. Now later on at night, like 24, you get off the Expressway, you go down towards the Brockton area, I guess. I mean, and there's always cops over there anyway. Anybody who speeds on that road, and that's that would be if you're going to do it, that would be like the road to do it on. But there's cops all over the place. It just, it's just, I don't understand how, it's mostly guys who do this. And I don't know what you're trying to prove. I mean, okay, you go down 82, 110 miles an hour. And what is that supposed to be? What am I supposed to be impressed? You're above the law?
I'm going to start carrying cookies.
I wish I had like James Bond, weapons like thumbtacks. I'd throw them out the window, when I see him coming and just deflate all the tires. That's what I want. I need a James Bond. I need that James Bond car. Just start taking people out. In their cars. I don't want to kill anybody or anything like that, but I want them. I want their cars damaged. I want them to feel inconvenienced. And I want them to know that, it's not going to happen anymore. Well, thank God the local police, they've cracked down here, at least in Florida, because the number of speeding violations have gone up just in the past couple of weeks. Unbelievable fines, some jail sentences. It's great. So at least, and I've noticed it down here because I'm up, 4:45, 5 o'clock every morning. And down here where I live in Fort Myers, right near JetBlue, I mean, Daniels gets really flooded around. It's not as bad now when school is out, because we got like 2 high schools right around us, elementary school, all that stuff, and it gets really cluttered. So it's after like 5:30. It's hard to speed anyway, but I can tell because I can hear it outside my window sometimes sleeping on 82 and Daniels that when people I've noticed it's less and less the last couple of weeks. That's what I'm trying to say. So anyway, good stuff. Don't speed. You're not. It's just there's speeding and then there's stupid. Speeding is going 70 and 55. Stupid is going 155 or 170 miles. I mean, you're not going to get anywhere that much faster. You're just not, and you're liable to kill yourself or somebody else. Anyway, off my soapbox. What's going on in Tampa? We got some major lightning coming up today, and I don't really mean the Tampa Bay Lightning. By the way, We the Thunder, great new show on the network with Shooter and Schooley. And as I was logging on today, Angel, it was so cool on our server, and all the studio shows, a little behind the scenes here, lined up. We have so many great shows now on this network, Monday through Friday, and I'm sure we're going to have weekend shows as well. If not, you can go back and but it is the Coastal Sports Network, and it's a big part to what Angel has done. All his hard work here really is something else. It's awesome. All the different shows, they're all got their own niche and different variety, which is great. So it's not everybody doing the same thing all the time. I know nobody's doing what I do because I just sit here and cuss at people and other teams. But anyway, we have a lot. Every show is unique in its own way. It's just getting bigger and better, right? I mean, this is awesome.
No, it is. That's the nice part. But we have a really nice mix of folks here on the network, and we still have some other folks here. Well, we join us soon, especially during football season. But the nice part about it is, everybody has their own uniqueness. No show's ever the same here, no matter what. Even if it's Beav and myself on his show at nighttime, none of the shows are like, Lloyd. I mean, everybody just has their unique spin on the way they do stuff, and nothing's ever repetitive. Even when I haven't done Martinez coming in a while, but even coming off in the morning with you, Pete, like what I do after you doesn't repeat. So we're not like the regular radio stations where they turn around like, here it is 6 a.m.
Think about ESPN in the morning. Think about ESPN in the morning. They start at 6 o'clock in the morning because everything else is taped. And think about it. It's the same people talking about the same thing from 6 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock at night. Boring. All you're going to hear about today is Cooper Flagg and Bronny James missing the last shot in the Summer League. I don't give a shit. I don't care. 99% of people don't give a rat's ass about the Summer League. How you're not leading with baseball. If you're not leading with baseball, no matter what platform you are doing, I'm not saying if you're an NBA show or an NHL, I'm talking about if you're on a national network and you're not leading with baseball this today and yesterday, then I don't know what to tell you. Then, as Gordon Ramsay would say, you've lost the plot. I mean, you don't get it. You don't get it. Baseball is the big story right now, not the fucking NBA Summer League. Nobody cares. It's ridiculous.
There even lost people going out there. It used to be like everyone used to go out to Vegas for the summer league. Now you don't have as much of a turnout like they used to have before. And it's the same way because the NBA has lost a lot of fan base, especially when it started the in-season tournament. Everybody wants just the NBA to go back to where it was. And this whole thing about, now it's not considered a travel per se. As long as you do the Euro step, you can take 5, 6, 7 steps as long as it's considered a Euro step. So it's just a lot of stuff is different. And because there's no defense anymore, everybody's shooting up whatever.
Euro step is it's so ridiculous. And I don't watch any WNBA because I just don't give a shit. And then they show a highlight of Angel Reese the other day, who's just so overrated. I mean, it's just so bad. And I always saw it goes on sports. It's like, watch this. It's an ISO with Angel Reese. She crosses half court, and I'm like, she's gonna turn the ball over. I could see it coming. I had no idea. And she has to dribble the fucking ball up to her head. It should have been a travel before she even crossed the timeline at half court. And then she goes ISO on some other person. I have no idea who it is. And as soon as she gets to the high post, as soon as she gets to the top, to the foul line, free throw line, she tries a crossover drill, has dribbled off, turned the ball over, and the other girl went down and scored. But it's just dribbling. They let the girls dribble the ball up to their face, And there's so many violations. It's so bad. It's so bad. The NBA is bad in so many ways, and the WNBA is worse. Because it's just whatever.
Well, the reputation now that's following them because of how much they've allowed for all the nonsense to go on the courts, including some.
The refs are terrible in the WNBA. You think it's bad in the NBA? They're horrible in the W. Again, I just go by what I read. I don't watch it. I see Caitlin Clark highlights on TV from time to time, but I don't sit there at the wall. Hey, did you see what happened in the Fever game? No.
Yep, that's why the women's college game is so much better in basketball.
Way better.
Much better.
Way better.
Yep.
Way better. All right, let's get into it, shall we? Great show coming up today. Only one guest, my man Jerry Thornton from Barstool Sports. Oh, by the way, Angel, may I impose upon you before we get into this baseball stuff, starting with my Red Sox and their great come from behind win last night. On my Facebook page, can you do that?
Right, let me take a look.
My buddy Glenn Ordway, I told you, the Big O, was out in wine country, out in Northern California. He's on vacation with his family, or with his wife anyway. And he stopped at Francis Ford Coppola's winery. He has a whole vineyard now. The restaurant actually overlooks it, but you got to see what is inside. The Godfather, this is the Godfather desk. I put up a couple of pictures on my Facebook page, and I want to show them to you guys. This is pretty cool. They got the Godfather desks there. That was in all 3 movies. There's a couple other photos up there as well. It's got transcript. The original transcript for The Godfather. It's in case he sent me some unbelievable pictures, as he said he would, of Francis Ford Coppola's winery, and just absolutely amazing. And it only costs. There's a hotel and a restaurant part of it, but you can't stay there. It's only $10 a day. Now I can only imagine how much the wine is per glass, but you get a day pass for $10, and I guess you can use the pool. There's a beautiful pool there. And all that stuff. And then, of course, you're probably going to spend $100 or more on certain wines. But you get to go in. Yeah, there's a couple of pictures. One, and that's the transcript. That's the original transcript right there. That's in case it's like a big museum in his house. And what else we got? Yeah, that's the original Godfather desk. And I don't know if you zoom in onto the sign, it says this desk was. I can paraphrase because I read it. It says this is the Godfather desk that was used in all 3 movies, and this also says don't sit behind. You're not allowed to go behind the desk. Like in Washington D.C., you can go behind the podium, but here, no, you do not go behind the Godfather desk. You will get ejected. So that's pretty cool. That's the original Godfather desk.
That is cool.
Yeah.
Oh, interview.
Just you?
Yeah.
I don't know. What did I have? I thought I had 3 pictures up there. Did I just have 2?
Let's take a look.
I
Come
mean,
on, get out of here. Pop that out. No, just
okay.
2. Oh,
Right.
wait a minute. There's our boy.
Oh yeah, there's Jabu. I always I like to lead. The Jabu Fest was last month, and it was a spectacular event on Fort Myers Beach. So yes, we had the sacrifice, not of people, the rum sacrifice and the cigar sacrifice for Jabu from the movie Major League. The first ever on Fort Myers Beach Jabu Fest, and it was absolutely marvelous how it went down. And people are hysterical down here when it comes to this stuff. Any chance to party down here in Southwest Florida, it's unlike anything else. I mean, my God. Yeah, I know in Tampa you have great happy hours up there, but I don't know if we can rival the happy hours down here. It is like
I don't know, because when you told me about the fun you guys were having over there, and you did an early video, and then you were telling me it got so packed over there. But you also mentioned too, because you said they're going to do it again next year.
Yeah, oh yeah, it was the first ever Jabu Fest.
I got to go to it next year because it's not like it's so much fun.
You got to come down for it. It's freaking hysterical. The speeches, the sacrifices, the cigars, the rum flow. I mean, it's like sacrifices every hour, meaning a rum shot for Jabu.
Right.
Again, it is very bad to take Jabu's rum. Just very bad.
Maybe that's what helped your Red Sox. Maybe you guys, that's what you need to do when they're in a major slump. It was before the slump.
Well, yeah, let's get to it because I got some audio and some video. Let's get to it. Red Sox win 4-3, and let's see. They jump out in the first inning. Roman Anthony on fire. Bottom of the third. It was scoreless.
Pitch is driven into right field, and it's sinking down for a hit. Cedon is coming to third. He will score. Roman delivers, and the Red Sox lead it 1-0.
That's the first mistake Bradley's made. An 0-2 curveball that just stayed up over the plate for Roman. He didn't crush it. He topspun and got in on the hands just to touch, but good thing because it allowed it to drop in front of Lowe there in right field for that RBI.
Yeah, thanks to WEI right there, 93.7, my old stomping grounds with a call. So it's 1-0 Red Sox, but the Tampa Bay Rays come storming back.
On 3-2, let's see if Lowe goes. He is running. Driven to the air to the monster. And over the monster. Kim with his first homer as a Ray. And it's 2-1 Rays here in the fourth. And the patience that they showed against Buehler pays off enormously. The Rays have their first lead of the series.
Thanks to FanDuel Sports Network with that call. And it was 2-1 Rays in the top of the fourth. Let's head now to the top of the sixth inning.
They're playing right now, too, the top 2 home run guys. Oh, and here's one for Junior Caminero, number 23. And it's 3-1 Rays. Homers on back-to-back games. That's a no-doubter by Junior. Getting that swing ready for next Monday.
I think we have to give credit to the truck.
Okay.
Right.
That's FanDuel Sports. If now we could, Red Sox start the comeback if we could, but I want to show you the video because it's much more fun. Go down to Nesson and Marcelo Mayer coming up clutch. That's what we want to play first. It's 3-1. It's 3-1 Rays, but the Red Sox start their comeback right here.
Shot into left field on the fastball. Oh, the way the ball goes. Story is in. Gonzalez will be held at third as the throw comes home. And a smart move there. 3-2.
Yeah,
He did get the fastball.
He did after 3 changeups. He got the heater. He stays back and smokes this thing. Hits it so hard it splits that gap. It gets to the wall. Romy Gonzalez can run, but you got to remember, nobody out here. You got the man on deck, and Cedon has been swinging it. I'm sure you'd love to send him to try to tie it, but with nobody out, really the need. Story's going to score easily. Romy's coming around. He's just picking up the ball.
All right. So thanks to Dave O'Brien and Lou Merlone with the call. And then, Angel, that's still now it's 3-2 Rays. And that was in the bottom of the seventh, but we keep it going because Daniel Rafaela, scroll right down, Angel. So down here for the lead as the Red Sox make the comeback. Unbelievable clutch hitting. And this guy's been hitting everything anyway. And this is a slider outside that strike zone that he just tags.
The righty's 1-2. And a line right base hit center field. Romy scores. Marcelo trying to score. The throw home. He's in. And the Red Sox lead it 4-3. That did not take very long, did it?
4 hitters in. Mentioned this kid struggled his last time out from Baltimore. He still hasn't gotten out. He's given up 7 runs without giving it out in his last 2 appearances. The growth of Cedon. Again, we talk about him hitting hangers. This wasn't a hanger. It was a pretty decent pitch, but he just goes and gets it. Gives the Sox the lead here.
The righty's 1-2.
I mean, he is absolutely on fire. Absolutely on fire. 2 for 3 last night. A couple of RBIs and a run scored. And after the game, Angel Martinez, we scroll down 1. He talked about it. 2, 3, couple RBIs, a run and a stolen base.
Cedon, a different way for the Red Sox to win. There weren't like 20 hits tonight, 10 runs. This one you guys had to gut out. When you're in the box in that situation, what's going through your mind?
Right there was just make a contact, bring the runner in. Wasn't trying to do too much, and gladly I did.
Cedon, this last 35, 40 games for you, it's just, I mean, everything you're hitting is hard. You're getting hits every single night. For you, what do you think is the difference? What are you feeling right now in the box?
I want to win. I think that's the most important thing right now for me. I want to win. I want to play October here in Fenway. Haven't really experienced that moment yet. And in the box right now, that's what I'm trying to do, help the team win.
It looks like your swing is just on point. You're repeating it. When you get a pitch to hit, you're just not missing it lately.
Yeah, I think that's what the good hitters do. Don't miss pitches, I think. That's what I'm trying to do, be precision to the ball and not trying to do too much.
The other part of your game, that obviously the defense has been terrific, but your speed. We go back to that play in the third inning on that wild pitch. You got a great read on that, didn't you?
Yes, I was prepared for that pitch. I was expecting him to bounce one right there, and gladly he did. Took second.
Yeah, it turned out to be a big run indeed.
Right, yes.
Yeah, after a big win, a nice win here tonight. Walker Buehler on the mound. You know, he battled, gave you 6 innings, 3 runs, but really it's been a combination of everything, hasn't it? Not just your offense, but the pitching in this bullpen.
Yes, I mean, it's been great. It's been great to be behind those guys. They've been doing an amazing job, and we got them back too.
Cedon, congratulations. Another big win for the Red Sox. That's 7 in a row now.
Yes, we're going to keep going.
Yes, indeed. Like the sound of that. Thanks, Cedon. Appreciate it very much.
All right. I got a good chance going tonight with Garrett Crochet on the mound for the Red Sox. And that should be tonight's game should be another great game. Should be very low scoring, I would think. Drew Rasmussen going for the Rays. He's 7-5 with a 2.78 ERA. He's a righty. And obviously Garrett Crochet, 9-4. 2.39 ERA. So the Red Sox ace going tonight, won 3 of his last 4 starts. Should be a hell of a ball game tonight. The Red Sox take over sole possession of that third wild card, and they're right there up Tampa's took us for the second spot. Meanwhile, before we get to some other scores, I do want to tell everyone's in a little Red Sox mode here. And let's go to Angel. If we could scroll down. Well, scroll down right under the show first. Alex Cora on the 7th inning rally last night. It's right under the show. Thanks.
Yippers. Here we go.
The rally in the 7th. Yeah, I mean, patience from Trevor and Romy. Probably Marcelo's best at bat of the season. Just taking pitches and shooting the ball the other way. And then, center field is playing great. That was a great game by him today. The tag from first, the stolen, putting on play with 2 strikes. I mean, last month and a half, he's been amazing for us. Amazing.
All right, there you have it. And we'll scroll down right underneath there. Let's go to get a national perspective on MLB Network with Yander Alonso and former GM Steve Phillips talking about what they think the Red Sox should do approaching the trade deadline.
But is this addition by subtraction? I started off with the Devers thing. I thought this would happen initially. It looked like, remember, they traded Devers and they started losing. They couldn't score runs. It's like, wow, this looks bad. Now it looks a little better, doesn't it?
It does. And I do think there is something to addition by subtraction. I think that everybody rowing in the same direction, believing in each other, believing in a plan, believing in an approach, not feeling like I've got to walk on eggshells because this guy's unhappy, not saying, hey, I want to play first base, but he's mad at me like he was at Christian Campbell because he offered to play first base. And so I think there is some part of that. I also think that you're giving some runway to some young, really, really talented players. Talent is what's winning, and they're getting comfortable a little bit right now. Now the league's going to make an adjustment at some point. And the question is, can these kids make adjustments in time to get back on track again? Because at some point they're going to struggle a little bit.
Would make them look bad for a while, right? The Red Sox are catching a break in that he went to the Giants. He hasn't hit as well as he was with the Red Sox, right? But that could have looked bad for a year or two.
Well, yes. However, Alex Cora, by doing that, had more flexibility with their young guys.
Yeah.
So you add another bat to the lineup, another young guy. I wouldn't trade anybody, to be honest with you. I think if you do have to trade somebody, is Abreu. Got a guy who's a couple years in already, has 18 home runs this year. Yeah. I think he's one of those guys that you can kind of trade off.
No.
However, too,
no.
You think you can play every day. So this whole platooning and not playing every day, you feel like, yes, the competitive edge is always there, but you want to play every day. So I'm sure there's a lot of phone calls to agents saying, get me out of here, because I want to play every day.
Well, I would, I'd be loath to trade Abreu, but that means there's value in Abreu, right? But I would be loath to trade any of those good young guys.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Do they have enough power in their lineup?
I think so.
Do they? I don't
watching
know.
Steve?
Not a power guy.
Might be a little light.
But you're a little light on the power side of it. So, and yet with Yoshida, what I would do is I would DH him, let him have some runway to the trade deadline, and see if there's a deal. If I can get out from underneath his money or some part of that money, I would do it because I want the kids to get the at-bats. I want Anthony to get at-bats.
I agree, but can I just jump in? Like the OPS plus at the bottom, 109, 115, it's good, it's not great. So how much are you getting back in the market?
If I can get out from the roster spot, I want flexibility again. Like he's a DH. He can't really play the outfield. Can't run. Can't catch. Now, a little bit like the things we said about Devers. Now, he's not the same hitters as Devers is.
Right.
But if I have to trade any of the young outfielders, I'm trading Rafaela. I'm not trading Abreu. I think that he's a great defender, but he's not the offensive player that the other guys are.
Starting to emerge.
Not for me. I'll trade him. Here's the thing. I want you to think he's emerging. And I think that if they're in a position, because I think a lot of teams are going to be in a position this year, that if you want to trade at the deadline, there's not going to be a lot of sellers.
Yeah, I know.
You might have to be buyer for buyer trades where you've got pitching, I've got offense, let's make a deal. I will take Anthony, Abreu, and Duran over Rafaela.
All right. I don't know if Steve Phillips has seen that. I would bet my life that at least over the last 11 days, maybe 2 weeks, the Red Sox probably lead the majors in home runs. So this power thing that he's saying that they don't have, they've been watching the scores in some of these games. I know against the Rockies, I know Washington, but nevertheless, I mean, and a couple of other teams as well. I would be stunned if they weren't leading the majors in home runs over the last 2 weeks. Anyway, all right, let's check in one more game before we go to break. Yankees and Seattle did not start off well for the Bombers. Let's head to the top of the 7th inning.
To right field, really tagged. Jorge Polanco, way out of here. A 3-run blast. Polanco homers for the second straight night in the Bronx. And the Mariners open it up in the 7th inning. It's a 5-0 Mariners lead.
Ooh. Yes, they are in New York. Meanwhile, all right, let's head. It's 5-0 going into the 8th inning. Yankees are being no-hit, Angel.
There's a base hit for Chisholm to break up the no-hitter.
We were actually
tapped Chisholm on the way by. He hit a pretty good pitch. There's been 8 no-hitters thrown against the Yankees in their history.
And the Mariners as an organization have had 6 no-hitters.
Yeah, so again, that started a little bit of a rally for the Yankees. Let's move along to the bottom of the 9th inning. The Yankees are down 5-3.
The runners will go. 3-2, 2 outs, bottom of the 9th. Line drive, it's a base hit to right field. That's going to tie the game. The Yankees have come all the way back. It's 5-5 on the big 2-run single by Austin Wells.
A huge 2-out hit in the bottom of the 9th for Austin Wells.
3 RBIs on the night for Wells. 53 on the season.
Oh, and thanks to the Yes Network. I didn't see this. I should have played this before. That tied it at 5, but Giancarlo Stanton hit a 2-run blast in the 8th inning.
That one's drilled deep to right center field on the run. Rodriguez on the track, turning, looking, see ya. A pinch hit, 2-run home run for Stanton, and the Yankees have pulled to within 2.
Why are you giving him anything to hit? I mean, this helped the Red Sox, so I was rooting for the Yankees last night. This helped the Red Sox.
Well, these are the things that Big G, he's capable of doing.
All right, so it's 5-5. We head to the 10th inning, bottom of the 10th inning. All rise.
The 1-1. High fly ball. Center field, tagging Volpe. The catch is made. Here comes Volpe. Here's the throw. Here's the play. He's safe. Yankees win. A sac fly by Judge. Yankees win 6-5. From no hit to no way. They come all the way back to win it and sweep Seattle.
Wow, what a comeback. And you know they're going to take a look at this play, Michael, and make sure.
And the challenge is not successful because of this great slide by Volpe and a walk-off sac fly by Aaron Judge. What a sweep for the Yanks.
Yes, thanks, Michael K. right there with a call on the Yes Network. All right, quick break. When we come back, more MLB highlights. Got some interesting college football news to tell you about. The #1 recruit in the country. Headed down to 4 schools, including the U. University of Miami. We'll tell you where he ended up. We'll have the official announcement. Got some NFL news as well. Najee Harris, almost running back for the Chargers, almost former Alabama the running back, almost took his eye out with letting off a stupid firework. We got that story and a whole lot more. Jerry Thornton coming up at 8:15 today from Barstool Sports, all part of the Pete Shepard Show here on a Freaky Friday on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey everybody, it's Pete Shepard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them, sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding. Whoa! Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie. So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Don't spaz out because your team lost. Let Pete do it for you. Now, back to the Pete Shepherd Show.
This is Radio Freedom.
Right base at center field. Romy scores. Marcelo trying to score. The throw home. He's in.
Cedeno Rafaela with the big two-run hit last night, propelling the Red Sox to their 7th straight win. 2-run double during a 3-run 7th. Red Sox beat the Rays. Yeah, 4-3 to take over the 3rd spot in the wild card race. Great job last night. Good call last night by on that one by Dave O'Brien and Lou Maloney. Welcome back to the Pete Shepherd Show here on a Freaky Friday. Hope everybody is doing okay this morning. Angel Martinez is in the house as well. And it's going to be another very hot and lightning type of day here in Southwest Florida anyway, from Tampa all the way down here to Fort Myers. So plan accordingly. Get out early because between 3 and 6 tonight, Angel, boom, 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 Shazam City, lightning all over the place.
Yep. That's what we're expecting. Exactly that. We're that and over the weekend. And then supposedly come next week, It's supposed to ramp up to like 70% and some ridiculous, but it's our usual summer pattern.
Yes, it absolutely is. All right, we'll get back to some more baseball in a second here. Rundown. Some big news yesterday. The number 1 ranked overall recruit, defensive tackle Lamar Brown, at the podium. And here's how it all went down. If you missed it, here's where he's going to school next year.
I know the Final Four: LSU, Texas, Texas A&M, and Miami. Lamar, where will you be playing college football?
So first off, I like to thank God. Without him, it'd be possible. Second, my support system, my teammates. I get it going with them almost every day. So just everybody that was with the process with me. So hard choice, but I decided to do it. With that being said, for the next 3 to 4 years, I'll be committed to Louisiana State University.
Damn it. Come on, Mario. Come up with some more money.
Go Tigers.
At least he didn't go to A&M. He is from Urnville, Louisiana, by the way. Chose LSU over Texas A&M, Texas, and the U. We can't outbid LSU, but I have a feeling he wanted to stay close to home on Bayou.
This is true.
Sorry. Yeah, he's always trying.
Who's the one who was the kid you guys drafted? He was also from the Bayou.
The tackle. No, he's awesome. Yeah, he's gonna be starting left tackle.
Yeah.
I remember having a brain cramp. Hang on. I shouldn't have a brain cramp.
I know. I had the name this morning.
LSU's got a tremendous talent. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm being facetious because I want him to.
I was just thinking because of 2 local guys, and I was actually thinking about it this morning. I just forgot his name, but he was such a freaking great kid. Where he wants to just embrace everything.
Yeah, Will Campbell. No, he's going to be. His attitude. He loved. I loved what he said about going to bat for Drake May. He's like, I'll give my life for him. Oh my God! I mean, he's just said all the right things. So yes, Will Campbell is going to be the starting left tackle for the Patriots this year, and they're starting a game. A lot of the national media still are poo-pooing it. They don't understand some of them, but there's people out there. Even ESPN did a segment. I hate to give them credit that there's a couple people on there said they're going to win 9 or 10 games this year, which is how I feel. I think the potential is there. With that coach and the development of Drake May and the draft that they had, and obviously the schedule, which is huge, they should be a 9-win team this year, minimum. They really should be. The expectations are going to be that high. All right, back to college football, though, for a second before we get to the NFL and then back to baseball. Kansas State head coach Chris Kleiman talked on College Sports Radio about the college football preseason rankings.
Yes, I wish they would start it this year and do it in whenever the playoff poll comes out, to be honest with you, because you hit on something, Dusty, that you and I think of the fabric of college football. It's different now. That ain't the fabric of college football, as we all know. It's just a different world that we're in. And for us, I think it would be better for us not to just have random prognostications of who usually is supposed to be good, but they were 5-7 last year. Well, they must be better this year, or they were whatever. I just don't think it's good right now, especially with the transfer portal and the amount of guys changing teams. You just don't know. You have no idea what the league's going to be like in any of the leagues. You assume what it's going to be, but a lot of those assumptions are wrong. So I just assume we all waited until later October.
Yeah, but that's not going to be the case. But that's what makes it, that's what makes college sports particularly fun is rankings and water cooler talk that people actually will talk about. It's always controversial, no matter what. So I like the preseason. I like rankings. Americans like rankings. Angel Martinez, Americans like rankings. I'm talking about sport. They like rankings and they like percentages.
Yeah,
they're obsessed with rankings and percentages. They really are.
They are.
Yep.
You're right. They absolutely are.
Yep. You know, how much? What's the percentage you want to blame this team for, that player for, that manager for, or that coach for? You know, it's all about percentages. Pac-12 Commissioner Teresa Gold talked about the league still looking for further expansion.
You know, we have 9 for now. And I think, look, we're evaluating all of those decisions from the perspective of, you know, we are a new and different league. And so our brand and our DNA is going to be different moving forward. And we need to recreate ourselves to be representative of our new membership. I would also say, you know, a couple things. We wouldn't be the only conference in the country who had a number in their name that was not consistent with their membership.
That's right. You would actually be unique.
Right?
If you were consistent with your membership, you would be unique in doing that.
Last time I looked, there's at least a couple conferences that have a number in their name that's not consistent with the number of their
like
membership.
the Big 50?
So I'm not worried about that. What I am worried about is making sure that we're being really thoughtful about the brand and being thoughtful about leveraging what I think is a brand that has a lot of equity in the marketplace.
All right. Going to be really interesting. You're right. I mean, the SEC has never been the SEC 10 or the SEC 9. Now it's the SEC, whatever, 20, whatever it is. The Big Ten can't be the Big Ten. And you can't even say the Big Midwest because you've got teams in the Big Ten from California and New Jersey. So it's not even that. You can't even do that anymore. I mean, I stopped paying attention to numbers a lot. What do you mean they're 12? It's not. There's more than 10 teams. It's more than 12. Who cares? Just get Miami to the playoff. That's all I want. All right, let's get to some NFL news. Back on Sirius XM NFL Radio, Todd Haley for Cleveland he thinks Joe Flacco is the guy for the Browns.
You know, I got to believe that there were a lot of people in that building that love Kenny Pickett. There were a lot of people in that building that love Dylan Gabriel, and a lot of people in that building that love Shedeur Sanders. So Joe Flacco's the guy. I would be shocked if it was anybody else starting the season. But in that building, within that staff, I got to believe that they think one of these guys can be the long-term solution.
Let's say, for argument's sake, that we're right. Joe Flacco's the guy. They open the season with Joe Flacco as a starting quarterback. Who's still on this roster? You still have Kenny Pickett. You still have Dylan Gabriel. You still have Shedeur Sanders. You can't keep all 4 in that way. Like, how roster-wise, roster construction-wise, then are you dealing with the rest?
Well, that's going to be the really interesting thing. You know, I think we heard Mary Kay Cabot come out with a report that there's a possibility they could keep 4. Definitely could be a possibility, but it hamstrings you in some other areas roster-wise.
Yeah.
You know, if that is what you're thinking about doing, I would think best case scenario for them, one of these young guys gets them excited, and one of the other guys, you know, Kenny Pickett maybe looks really good in preseason. You give him a full 3 quarters or something to play, and all of a sudden another team that's quarterback needy, even if it's as a backup, says, you know, we'll give you something for him, because I think otherwise you're just going to look bad. If you cut Kenny Pickett after trading draft capital, if you cut Dylan Gabriel after using a 3rd-round pick, even if you cut Shedeur Sanders after using a 5th-round pick, knowing you'd already drafted a quarterback. Best case scenario, somebody really gets them excited, you know, other than Flacco, and they feel like, all right, this is our guy going forward.
Yeah, and it's really interesting. I don't see how they keep 4 quarterbacks. I think Kenny Pickett, who the Steelers never should have traded, in my opinion, never should have traded. I still think it's going to be Shedeur Sanders starting when it's all said and done. Maybe Flacco gets the opening day. I don't know. If Shedeur Sanders is looking pretty good in camp, I think you got to go with him over Joe Flacco. But the last time I can remember a team keeping 4 quarterbacks, Angel, was my Patriots back in 2000. You know who the 4th quarterback was that they kept?
Who's that?
Take a guess. The GOAT.
What team again?
For the Patriots in 2000, they kept 4 quarterbacks, which was rare even back then. The 4th guy they kept was Tom Brady. He was a 4th-string quarterback back in 2000. Got in 1 or 2 series against the Lions on Thanksgiving Day when they were getting their asses kicked. And I think he completed his first pass to Rutledge, the tight end, out of Rutgers. But you know, that was. It's tough to keep 4 quarterbacks on a roster in this day and age in the NFL. The Patriots did it back in 2000, got away with it. They weren't a very good team that year. Next year they went to the Super Bowl, but the 4th quarterback that they kept that year was Tom Brady.
It's to me, it's just hard. And again, I've been a Tom Brady fan after his playing career, but no, it's hard to think of him as a fourth-string quarterback because of the success he had, the immediate success he had. So it's weird to even hear him referred to as.
Yeah, but he went through. But again, he went from 4 to 2 on the depth chart the next season. So Belichick saw something in him, obviously, back in the day. And but 4 quarterbacks now in Cleveland, I don't see it. So I don't see it. I still think. I don't know, Dylan Gabriel. I mean, you drafted Dylan Gabriel before you drafted Shadur Sanders, which I'll never understand that. For if somebody's going to get cut, it's going to be Gabriel. So that's my opinion.
Surprising, kind of surprising enough. You just mentioned Coach. We haven't heard much from him and or his girlfriend as of late. I guess maybe North Carolina said, "Listen, either you're going to put up or shut up."
No, I think it's calmed down. I mean, I saw actually ESPN did a decent feature, or the ACC network did on Belichick the other day, and there's some high expectations. I have no idea what Carolina is going to look like. I know they've had a good running game in the backs under Mac Brown and stuff like that. I think they're going to be a decent team. I mean, knowing Bill a little bit the way I do, I'm just telling you, he is going to embrace all this nonsense. And the one thing is with him, never, ever, ever underestimate him as a coach. And I think he's going to feed off a lot of this negativity. Now, having 18 to 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds in college, going to be when your whole team is that way, it's going to be a bigger challenge. But I think North Carolina is probably going to be a tough out for anybody in the ACC. Could be wrong, but that's just, that's everything I know about that man and what I've seen so far from North Carolina and the way those kids, I won't say worship him, but they, when you have the greatest coach of all time coaching, you're going to listen. And he has the command and respect of those kids from what I have seen from all the videos I've seen. Angel, can you refresh my Twitter, please? And right under the show, just want you to show my friends in Massachusetts. This is from Anna, is it Myler from WBZ Channel 4?
Yeah.
Check this out. If you are on 93 in Quincy, don't even attempt it. I guess, geez, we thought we had some bad rain here. Check this out. You run that video. That is on 93 in Quincy. Cars trapped in floodwater and traffic is a complete standstill. So my friends, who are headed around that way and are on their way to work, you ain't getting there on time, I tell you that. Turn around and call in sick. But you can't even turn around.
You can't.
So anyway, that's 93 in Quincy. That's north end southbound. Everything is underwater. Wow. That's
almost like in Philly. So if you go to Camden on the other side of the pond, Bear Boulevard used to be the same exact way. Right? It would get loaded with water. Yet you would see everybody doing the streams. And speaking of, which down here in Florida now also into effect is the no wake zone by homes that have flooded areas. And either A, you can end up going to jail, one of the two, and or the $500 fine that's imposed upon you.
Sweet. Sweet. Unbelievable.
Yep.
All right.
Hang on, because we got Jerry from Rhode Island. Let me make sure I get his message up here. He says, "Morning, boys. I'm not a college football fan, but I am this year. Can't wait to see what Belichick is going to do." Good morning, Jerry.
Yeah, and I think it would be a smart move for a station up in Massachusetts, or even in anybody in New England, to pick up North Carolina football. I guarantee you are going to get listeners, you are going to get viewers. I'm telling you, it may not be like when Tom Brady went to Tampa, because I know WEI, I think on the AM side, 850, I think they picked up Buccaneer games for a couple of years. It was a smart move because they made money off of it. And I think if I were running a terrestrial radio station, I would pick up, in New England, I would pick up North Carolina games. Because I think there's going to be an interest every single week from people up there. You're going to see a lot of people who don't say they're not big college football fans. They'll tune in to either watch Belichick succeed or fail, one way or the other. He'll be a draw for some people. I would absolutely do that. At least for a little. If you go game by game, I would do that too. But if I had to pick up North Carolina, I'm sure it doesn't cost that much. You just have to run the spots while you're playing the game. But if you have the time, and I know in Boston, I know obviously WEI carries Boston College football. But if it's not them, somebody else in New England or some small dinky station in Vermont or Maine or something like that, New Hampshire, pick up North Carolina football. I'm telling you, it's a draw. People are going to know. There's a lot of people that love Belichick. There's a lot of people that love Tom Brady that would sponsor locally with the local breaks that you have. Anyway, it's just my opinion. Chicago Cubs. Who else would it be? Why do we always say that? Well, in my opinion. Well, I'm talking. Who else is talking? Me. How isn't anybody else? I said, why do people date it? I include myself in that.
And,
Well, in my opinion.
It's one of those things.
Who else would it be? Unless I'm reading off if I quote people, I quote people, but most of the time it's me.
Yeah. It's a thing.
Why do we do that in society? In my opinion.
Yeah.
What else is it?
It's the same way, like, you know what I was thinking? No, tell me, because I kind of knew what you were thinking.
I say, I learned you the game, boy. I learned you the game. Cubs beat Minnesota yesterday, 8-1. Cleveland and the White Sox were postponed. If we told you the Red Sox already played the highlights, 4-3. They went over Tampa Bay, 7 straight wins. They climb into the 3rd spot in the wild card race. Cincinnati and Miami yesterday. And guess who had a big hit for the Reds? Yep, that guy.
Is smacked to right, base hit. Marte scores. Stops on Friedel. Another knock for De La Cruz. Throw in, gets away. Friedel flies home. Everyone advances.
Stupid.
2 runs are in. It's 4-0.
That's Marlin baseball right there. That's what you do. Although they were playing pretty well until recently. Now they've gone back to Marlin baseball. San Diego and Arizona in a nail-biter last night.
High drive, deep left field. Man, a man, a man. 16th of the year. Padres take a 3-2 lead.
Padres take a 3-2 lead. Don Orsillo on MLB TV for the Padres television network. Picking up the feed. San Diego hangs on. They win the game by a score of 4-3. Jay Flanley got no sleep last night. And here's why.
Henderson to deep right field. Soto gives it a look, but
Soto.
only a look.
Soto.
Orioles lead in a pinch.
Soto. Here's Soto. Here's what it is. Angel, here's Soto. Whoop. There it goes. Got whiplash watching that thing go by.
That's Gunnar Hendershot is what that is. Because that.
Oh, here we go. Gunnar Hendershot for Gunnar Henderson. There we go. Mets win game 1. Could they complete the sweep? Angel Martinez.
He hasn't doubled yet.
Get up.
Westberg. That will get up to left, and that will get out. Way out. Over every wall out there in left field. A stone-cold stunner off the bat of Jordan Westberg.
Stone-cold
and just
stunner.
like that, the Orioles are on top.
Why?
They sweep the doubleheader. Can you believe it? Baltimore sweeps the Mets 7-3. Mets are playing bad baseball right now. What are they, 2-10?
Yeah, it's fine with me.
I think.
Fine with me. my neighbor across the way, he was like, look how the Mets are playing. I said, they'll fail. He goes, the only thing he rubbed in my face, he's a Phillies fan as well, but he was like, yeah, but look what they did last year. They made it. I'm like, that's last year. That was cute.
Who cares about last year?
Exactly.
Cares about last year. St. Louis, after crapping out a couple of nights ago, they come back with a vengeance yesterday against the Natties.
Coffee, final weekend before the break. Fly ball, deep right center. Young on the run, adjusts on the fly, and he runs down a road.
Wilson!
We've got a tie for the leader in the clubhouse. The 12th home run of the season right there for Wilson.
Wilson! Contreras with a solo shot there. That made it 8-0 in the 7th inning. Final score is 8-1.
Really, probably going, what? Where's Wilson?
The A's in Atlanta went at it. They needed extra innings in that one.
Tyler Soderstrom, 2 for 4. Soderstrom out into center field. Here comes Brent Rooker, and Soderstrom has won the game for the A's. Another walk-off win here in West Sacramento.
fashion. Tyler Soderstrom has swung the bat very well here over the last couple days.
Right. Thanks there to FanDuel Sports. Texas beat the Angels by a score of 11-4 in that one. And let's see, any big highlights there? I'll give you one. I don't want to give that. No, I don't want to do that either. No, that's it. 11-4. All right, quick break here. Phil Castanetti, Sports World, and then Jerry Thornton from Barstool Sports going to join us for the rest of the show. Phil Castanetti, Sports World in Saugus, Mass. is New England's place to buy or sell the finest in sports memorabilia. For over 35 years, Sports World has offered the finest in sports collectibles. And you want to get down, they're having a special event. Sports World presents Bruins goaltender Jeremy Swayman at New England's premier Asian restaurant, the Kowloon. Everybody knows the Kowloon, world famous, I kid you not. That'll be Sunday, July 27th from noon to 2 p.m. Autograph. There'll be phone orders are welcome, autographs and all that great stuff, all that great stuff you need to meet Jeremy Swayman. That's at 184 Broadway in Saugus. So that's Phil Castanetti, Sports World. The Kowloon is at 948 Broadway in Saugus, Massachusetts, kind of down the street from Sports World. So get on down to Fenway Sports World anyway, 184 Broadway in Saugus. Call 781-233-7222 for more information. Sports World in Saugus. Be there. All right, Jerry Thornton, Barstool Sports, coming up next here on the Pete Shepard Show on a Freaky Friday on the Coastal Sports Network.
Hi, folks. This is Gerard Moynihan of Moynihan Lumber, and I would like you to know that our company has been selling Anderson windows for over 60 years. See the complete line of Anderson windows at any of our 3 locations in North Reading, Beverly, or in Plastown, New Hampshire, or at MoynihanLumber.com.
Hey, everybody, it's Pete Shepard from the Coastal Sports Network. Want to tell you about my good friend Lou DiMuzio and his company. Lou is the president and founder of Ace Technology Advisors. They're big-time tech specialists. At ATA, they're able to craft, implement, and manage the best and most appropriate solution for your business. They leverage their industry-leading experience and their portfolio of technology partners to improve your best practices and infrastructure. So you can get a hold of them at 888-599-4223. That's 888-599-4223. Check them out on their webpage, www.acetechadvisors.com. That's www.acetechadvisors.com. Or you can email them, sales@acetechadvisors.com. Check out my friend Lou DiMuzio and Ace Technology Advisors.
Right now, our country feels divided, but there's a place where people are coming together.
I gotta tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college, learn new instruments, start skateboarding.
Whoa!
Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, It's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The Pete Shepherd Show. It's fun for the whole family, if it's dysfunctional.
The righties 1-2. And right base hit center field. Romy scores. Marcelo trying to score. The throw home. He's in. And the Red Sox land for a 3. That did not take very long, did it?
4 hitters in. Mentioned this kid struggled his last time out for Baltimore. He still hasn't got it out. He's given up 7 runs without giving it out in his last 2 appearances.
Stinks!
The growth of Cedon. Again, we talk about him hitting hangers. This wasn't a hanger. It was a pretty decent pitch, but he just goes and gets it. Gives the Sox the lead here.
Old Twib closing. That's This Week in Baseball, you and me. Still gives me goosebumps to hear that song, especially highlights of my favorite team. They're on a roll right now, the Red Sox. Phillies had the night off. Phillies are playing excellent baseball as well overall. But the Mets stink right now.
Sure do.
The Yankees pulled one out of the took us last night, down 5-0 in the 8th inning, and they come back and win. It actually helped out the Red Sox. So the Red Sox are now 5 games behind Toronto. They're a half game up on Seattle for the 3rd and final wild card spot. And if they win tonight, Angel, they will be surpassing the Tampa Bay Rays into the 2nd spot of the wild card. So, I mean, there's a lot of baseball left. Like I said, they've got a huge, gigantic part of their schedule coming up, starting with this series and all the way to the All-Star break, where they have played 3 or 4 first-place teams, throw in the Minnesota Twins as well, the pesky Twins. So it's not going to be easy right out of the gate at the Cubs, then the Dodgers at home, and Astros in there a couple of times. It is a brutal schedule. We will absolutely find out what this team is all about coming up very shortly here. I circled, as I said, August 13th on the roster. While we're waiting for Jerry, oh, this is great. Flaky Boy, if we can refresh on, this just came up from Dove Kleiman. If you can refresh on my Twitter page, here's Aaron Rodgers refusing to sign a fan's jersey at a golf event, claiming that he's a scalper reseller. Is that like an importer-exporter like George Costanza was?
Yeah.
The fan left the event. Let's watch this. Here we go, Flaky.
You guys blew him out.
I remember the score. It was a blowout. You remember the score? Yeah. Who did we play? Saints. Yeah, good. It's on the ticket. It is. I can tell you the score, I think. Thank you. You can tell the score? I think it was looked at 50-3. Did I play? One pass. How many plays, though? A couple of passes. A couple? I don't remember that. I remember you threw a pass. Thank you very much.
Oh, wow.
I don't remember like that. I was 16, 20 years ago. I remember. Yeah, you got a great memory. You could look it up, though. Then I would believe you, then I would sign your thing.
What a dick.
But since I don't believe you, I'm not going to sign it. Okay.
Better probably look it up.
Now, I mean, I was at the game. No, you're an autograph hound. You personalize it. You're an autograph hound. No. Yeah, you are. Can't fool me. Can't fool me.
What a douchebag. Ugh, yeah. I don't know. I mean, come on, man.
Does it really matter? Honestly, like,
well, I mean, I get it, but maybe that guy has a distinguishable face. He's kind of bald with a beard and everything. I mean, it's possible, but he just comes off as usual, looking like a total a-hole. You know, just unbelievable. He is so.
What makes him think everybody else that he's signed is not going to do the same thing?
I agree. And you know what? You know who the biggest culprits are? Is these dads who are in the business and get the little kids to go up and give them those puppy dog eyes and try to. Those are the people. Those are the ones that are the worst.
Yep.
Most of the time at these events, if you see like a dad with his son or daughter. And there's a really good chance. Hey, Sally. Hey, Tommy. Go up and get Aaron's autograph. It'll be good for the collection. We'll make a lot of money off of it. I'll be able to go to McDonald's with you for 4 days a week next week. That's the thing. But that's what happens.
I'm trying to think who was the three. Well, it used to be four, now they're three. And they were on Comedy Central, but they'd always do skits. They were best friends for like the longest. I know it'll come to me as far as the name. But what they did was, so Joe, one of the four guys originally, what he did was, and again, they used to do these skits just to see how much, they can either aggravate people or how much fun they can have with them. So his whole deal was he put on, I know it was sunglasses, some hat, and it might have been like a goatee or something else. And they told him, we want you to go down there. He was over at Citi Field. We want you to go down and get as many foul balls as you possibly can. Like this was like during batting practice. And then I forgot who the pitcher was. Either the pitcher or the batter, one or two. He's like 6'2", 6'3", some giant. But anyways, the kids are standing there and he's telling them, the kids are, hey, can you sign my ball? And he was up there signing it. So then Joe presents almost like these bucket of balls, pretty much saying, hey, you really don't need that. So he snatches from the kid and runs up the bleachers over to the other set of steps just so you can get him to sign the ball. And you can see where the parents are getting pissed off. It's like, what do you want me to do? I'm just going to sell them. That's what you guys are going to do. But I wish I could remember the name of the freaking show. But it was to prove a point, just like you said.
Yeah. It really is unbelievable. It's just, trust me, more little kids are working for their parents, getting these autographs. Not everybody. I mean, it's a small percentage. I think most little kids are genuine. But there's a small percentage, 5-10%. I'm telling you, I've seen it. I've seen it a million times. And hey, Joey, go up, go get Tom Brady's autograph. Go get Jalen Hurts' autograph. And we'll add it to the collection. Good stuff.
If you caught it, here's always the thing that cracks me up, because now all of a sudden you're the biggest a-hole in the world if you do so. So you catch a ball, let's say it's a home run ball. Now, there not be a kid within, I want to say like 40 feet to the left, to the right of you, or behind you. But then all of a sudden, all these parents get in this huge uproar, give it to the kids. I'm like, first of all, there's not a kid nearby me. Number one. Number two, do I really have to give it to the kid? Now, if it's, let's just say, the foul ball comes trickling down, I'm over by first or third base side, and it's not even my kid, it's a kid to my left. Good possibility I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to hand it to the kid. Like, here you go. Because, they probably try to reach out for whatever it was. But if there's not a kid within, like I said, 20 feet around me, and you're getting people to give you pressure to be like, no, give that kid, that ball. I'm like, what kid? Like, oh, you guys want it? No, it's mine. Thank you.
Hey, my buddy Bob Heidelberg, great author, great sports fan, great Patriots author. Free Slurpees at 7-Eleven today from 11 to 7. I was kind of goofing on that. Is that true?
Oh, no,
Remember
it's
I
every
said
year.
at the end of the show, I go, hey, it's not Wawa Day, but happy 7-Eleven Day. I said, do you get a free Slurpee? I actually just threw that out there for shits and giggles.
No, if you have the app, you have to have the app. So you just can't go in there and get the free one.
Okay.
So you have to have the
The
7-Eleven
app's
one.
free. I mean,
Yeah, right. And it's their 98th anniversary. So come the 100th, who knows what they're going to end up doing. But yeah, also you can get, well, they say this morning on the news, like not a tattoo, but basically like the logo from the Slurpee. You can, I think it was a sticker, matter of fact. So you get a free Slurpee and a sticker.
first of all, I can't have Slurpees, too much sugar. But I don't, even as a kid, I might have had one Slurpee my entire life. We didn't have a lot of 7-Elevens in the mean streets of Narragansett, Rhode Island. I can tell you that. There weren't a lot of 7-Elevens where I grew up. Anyway, Cumberland Farms, that's what we had. We had Cumberland Farms.
Yep.
We had awesome little rectangular little dollar cold strips of pizza that were wrapped up in cellophane, and they were fucking delicious, especially when you got older and you were hungover. There was something about those rectangular, wrapped up cellophane, rectangular pizzas from Cumberland Farms that were legendary, absolutely legendary. And you'd rate them as high as any pizza possible, at least at that time of morning, early morning.
It's New England.
Like that in Philadelphia, did you guys have like a store that
Farms?
stuff like that?
Oh yeah,
they were cold, wrapped up cellophane, little rectangular pizzas.
Yep. No, we used to have Cumberland Farms before 7-Eleven took off. It were tons of Cumberland Farms, and then obviously Wawa came in, became a whole different story. But yeah, then there was the Turkey Hill stores for Turkey Hill ice cream. But I was out in the burbs when you would get those. But New England was the first place, Springfield in particular, where we would get the square pizzas because there used to be a place called Red Rose Pizzeria in Springfield. Right
I'm
off.
not talking about a whole pizza. I'm talking about individually wrapped slices. Okay.
Yeah. We used to get in our stores. They used to offer them as well.
They were long, rectangular, but they were about a foot long. If you had a foot long and about yay wide. They weren't that big, and you had to have it cold. If you heated it up, it would taste lousy. You had to have it cold or room temperature, like they were serving it.
Yep. No, but this place in Springfield called, and I don't know if they're still there or not, unless I asked my sister. But Red Rose Pizzeria. It was down off of Main Street, not too freaking far away from the courthouse.
Downtown Springfield.
Yeah.
Near the Hall of Fame.
Matter of fact, it might be, I would say, less than maybe 3 miles from the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
But it was an awesome spot because Sundays would be packed with families, absolutely packed to the gills. And it could be minus 15 degrees outside. Everybody would around.
Yeah. Because
they had the best sauce on the freaking pizza. No matter where you went, it had the freaking best sauce. But back then, you were looking at like a desk-sized pizza for like $4 that could feed you, the family. I mean, people that come in from out of town, it could have fed everybody. But the place was absolutely outstanding. I miss it though, so I don't know if it's around, but by far the best pizza I've ever tasted.
Wow, that's good. That's saying a lot. Yeah, Pepe's in New Haven, still the best. Besides some of the pizza I had in Italy was absolutely outstanding. Jerry Thornton said he's coming in hot.
Oh boy,
coming in hot. I got a little theme music for him coming in today.
It should be good. Oh boy,
it's fitting. It's fitting.
Maybe he saw the Aaron Rodgers video before he came on.
He just looks like a dink doing that, And even if he's right, it looks bad. How do you think all those other kids that got they're probably looking at him like, God, you really are a jerk, But sign my ticket. The guy knew everything about the game. He was 16 years old. He wanted the ticket signed when the Green Bay beat New Orleans. Like he said, like something like 50-3, and he's giving him the third degree. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Here he is. The man, the myth, the legend, and one hell of a swell guy from Barstool Sports. It's Jerry Thornton. Dun, 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 dun. Here he comes.
Truth, justice, and the American way. Put that in there.
Welcome, another edition of Pete Shepard Show, Freaky Friday with the one and only and my dear friend, and the Superman in his own right. I know he's got a shirt with the S on it because I've seen it. Of course, it's not an S, it means peace. We found that out in Man of Steel. No one ever knew that what looked like an S, we all thought meant for Superman. But Henry Cavill's Superman told us it was really it meant peace. And I am still debating. Although I'm getting sucked in, I'll probably end up seeing it. It came out yesterday in most movie theaters, and at least around here in Fort Myers, I'm sure. It came out last night in certain times and everything else. The new Superman movie, I was still debating it. I was against it because I'm like, we don't need another reboot. We don't need the fourth reboot. And I thought Henry Cavill did a great job, and he's supposed to be part of the new Justice League movie whenever the hell that gets done. So I don't know how this is going to go, but because of crypto, I will probably go. The dog. Yeah. Jerry, good morning. Thanks for taking it for you. How are you?
Oh, great to see you, Pete. And to quote Gandalf from Lord of the Rings, a wizard is never late. He arrives in precisely when he means to. No, sorry about that.
Who turned down that role?
Yes, I do actually. I want to know if my answer is the same as yours. Mm-hmm. Sean Connery?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You know why he said he turned it down? He said, I didn't understand the script.
So only like the most beloved set of novels ever written.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee originally wanted to be Gandalf. Yep. I think they did a perfect job with casting.
I do too.
Perfect. And his thing was he reads the book once a year. He met J.R.R. Tolkien or whatever. And Sean Connery, I don't get it. What are these hobbits? They're running around. It's ridiculous. And instead, he accepted a role in that cinematic tour de force that everyone can't shut up about, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
You are so crazy. So last night before I went to bed, I'm like flipping through after the Red Sox won, and I'm like, let me watch something stupid I haven't seen in a while. I put that movie on. It's on Hulu. I fast forward to the first 4 minutes when the Phantom is doing the thing, but it is kind of right up until as soon as Mina Harker turns into a little Dracula vixen there and bites as they're forming together, as they're forming that group, it's actually kind of an entertaining, and then it gets really stupid afterwards. Once they get Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, after that, then I shut it off. So but for 40 minutes, it's not bad. If you've never seen it, it's not bad for 40 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's a neat concept. Like, what if we make a Justice League, some Avengers out of classic literary characters, and it's inspired. It might have just been the world just kind of going, classic literary characters. What are those? Like, we're all on our phones, go back to TikTok or whatever. Even I know this is like 20 years ago. But here's the thing too, and this sort of ties into Superman. There are these classic, iconic characters that you can reintroduce to every generation or so, and that's fine. They had Errol Flynn's Robin Hood, and then they tried to bring back, Russell Crowe was
Kevin Costner's Robin Hood, right?
Right. And now we reboot these characters every 9 months. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we've got to reinvent Superman again. Like, really? Do we have to?
I don't know. Don't the people that own the rights to DC, like the people that did the Henry Cavill one, Man of Steel, do they not? How do they allow a reboot? That's part of Hollywood that fascinates me. I mean, they must have had to get permit. I don't know.
I think at this point,
how this works.
I think at this point, it's not about creative vision. It's not about, wait, I've got this story I want to tell. It's financiers, and they sit around in a boardroom and they go, okay, well, we've got this IP. We own it. How can we monetize it or whatever? Oh, well, Zack Snyder wants to do a dark version of it. Okay, let's do a dark version. And it's just a lot of swings and misses. And then they see the brand is getting damaged. So now they come back with some of the things. I mean, the best example is the Batman movies. The first one, there was so much riding on it, and it was a mega hit. The Michael Keaton one.
Yeah.
The next one, they go
Jack Nicholson, who got top billing and $60 million up front just to do that part.
Yeah, and crushed it, and then they go, okay, well, this Tim Burton guy, he made us a hit. So they give him some creative control. And the second one, also good in my opinion, but it's dark. It's adult theme. If not adult themed, it's sort of adult adjacent theme. You've got like
Catwoman is worth a watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And
even when she fell out the window, she was sexy.
Oh, absolutely. And I think they sat there and said, look, we like it. It's making money, but we're trying to sell like lunch boxes. And we've got, Michelle Pfeiffer on all fours, covered in leather, like licking milk out of a bowl. And you got, the penguin is like eating raw fish.
How about Danny DeVito's line? When I was in the movie, I remember seeing this with all these little kids. And I was an adult, obviously, and I'm like, I wanted to see how racy it was going to be. And then that one Danny DeVito line, he goes, "You're just the pussy I was looking for." Right. And I'm looking at all the moms, and everybody's cringing. I'm laughing. I'm laughing. I'm like, look at all these moms and dads with their little kids. Like, how do you explain that? Here, kitty.
Yeah. So what they do is they go, okay, well, we've got to get this little nerdy goth god out of our lives, and we've got to get something fun in here. So now we end up with something that's just like a pale imitation of the goofy 60s show, which was brilliant in its time for what it was. It was parody, but so then you end up with the Joel Schumacher Drek and Val Kilmer's Batman.
That wasn't horrible. The George Clooney one was one of the worst things ever. But the Val Kilmer one with Carrey there, or Jim Carrey as the Riddler, I thought that was pretty good. It kept my interest.
But they went to like total camp at that point.
Yeah. Then it went to the origin of Robin and Chris O'Donnell and all that stuff. And
for the fourth one, the George Clooney one,
awful.
If you haven't seen it, I recommend a YouTube video that is just
drink during
Mr. Freeze puns, and it's just a supercut of everything Schwarzenegger just going.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is Mr. Freeze. Yeah, just
Nice to see you, and my condition leaves me cold to your problem. And what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. Okay, well that's not true.
Who played Poison Ivy in that one?
Uma Thurman. You pair up those two villains, like, okay, one of them wants to turn the world into an ice planet. The other one wants it to have tropical plants. Like, how did those two team up? How come they're not at war with each other? But really what it all goes back to is the best treatment of Batman that has ever been. And I love the Christopher Nolan movies. I take a backseat to no one. But it's really the animated series. And all the characterizations in there. And that one, okay, Mr. Freeze is this guy who, brilliant scientist, his wife is like in a coma, and he tries to like preserve her so he can find a cure. It goes horribly wrong. And now he's in this freezing tank. And that's why he wants to take revenge upon the world. But he's kind of like this villain that, he's almost an anti-hero. Like you can see where he's coming from. He has to be stopped. He's not just a guy in a giant metal suit just going what's another pun for ice? It's chilly.
They never did that back in the movies. That's but at least the Dark Knight movie. But I mean, people don't understand these iconic characters that you see in cartoon. You have to go back to the animated series if you have. Now they're all over the place now. Like Cinemax has all of them. If you have Max, you can get every. There are some they're all adult themed. They are not for little kids. I mean, they're all adult themed, from sexual situations to the origins of some of these heroes and villains. It'll blow your mind. It's like people who've never read The Wizard of Oz. Go read the original Wizard of Oz. You think it's like Judy Garland and company and all that crap, and it's all nicey nice. They tore the Tin Man apart. The Tin Man was a Tin Man because the witch tore his legs. They cut him apart. What they do to the Scarecrow before the flying monkeys come into the situation, which isn't until like the original Wizard of Oz. Go back and read it. The part where they have to go where the wizard said, I want proof that the witch is dead. She summons like bees and other critters to like go kill Dorothy, and then she casts a spell. She has 3 times to use the flying monkeys. I know I'm really geeking out here, but the
Sure,
Wizard of
no,
Oz,
I love it.
Wizard of Oz that you saw on TV. They should make the Wizard of Oz like Baum meant it to be in the book, not all this lovey-dovey nice stuff at the end, which is a classic movie, by the way, that still holds up. Don't get me wrong.
So it's much more like the plot thread, that sort of side plot from Wicked, where it's something about their.
Which is also going to be interesting how they coordinate, because I've seen the trailer for the second one, minus the music, but she's going to die. I mean, Dorothy's going to kill her.
Yeah, and you've got the kind of the monkeys are actually these like tortured medical experiments. Basically, it's
that was in the book. See, that part was in the book that people don't understand. They were slaves to the witch. She did something. They were slaves.
Yeah, and there's a really disturbing scene where one of the monkeys grows wings, and it's like it's in agony, and it was. I mean, it was like it was like Anthony Fauci with the beagles. It's like what are we doing here? Like someone just took their daughter in a princess costume to a movie, and now we're watching like primates getting tortured by a wizard or whatever. But yeah, I get, it's okay to take these iconic characters and, continue them for a new generation, whatever. I get it. What I can't stand is when they feel like they have to change it. Oh, no, audiences today wouldn't nearly accept.
Well, that's what the Snow White thing, and that's why it failed. And people were like, well, it's not because of her hair, the color of her skin, and everything else. She wanted to rewrite the fairy tale. It's a fairy tale. This is not about women's rights. Okay? Or anything like that. It's a goddamn fairy tale.
Right. And now it has to be about female empowerment because whatever the new thing is, we've constantly got to say, well, what's today's thing? And what's the theme that we have to? What was so great about the original Superman is that it was just, the Christopher Reeve one, is they said, all right, here's the comic book. It's silly on this level, and this level it's sort of it's heroic, it's inspirational, and they had fun with it. And then Zack Snyder comes along, and he's done some stuff I really like. He gets a lot of hatred. I think it's unwarranted, but it's just in the 2020s it has to be grim, it has to be somber. He has to be the enemy of the people. Like, does he? Like, what? Like, why? Someone once said a great thing about Zack Snyder movies is that his color palette has 3 colors in it. It's gray, darker gray, and fire.
I think he was trying to.
He can't have a red cape. It has to be this muted, sort of off maroon thing.
I think he was going for what was going on in the animated series, though, because Superman became not a dark character, but I mean, he became. They tried to, and even in this movie, the last thing, he's like, I stopped the war. I mean, Superman could do anything. He could stop most, probably 90%. Well, he can't be everywhere all the time, but I mean, it's just, he could stop wars. He can do anything. He can do anything. And I'm interested to see what all these, I saw the one when he was twirling around with his heat vision and killing everybody. And I hope it doesn't get super silly. I kind of like the crypto idea, the dog.
Yeah.
And watch how many people name their dog Crypto over the next few months. Because of
you should have done it before. Come on, he's been out there since the 1940s.
Yeah.
From what I understand, and again, sight unseen, there's a reviewer I like who tends to be angry about the same nerd things that I do, like how they ruined Snow White or whatever, and just how many times they do the swing and the miss because they've got to gender swap a character. Where they take so many of the fictional heroes that we grew up with, and they say, okay, let's turn that one into an angry old bitter hermit and replace him with a chick. It's that Cartman thing. Put a chick in it, make her get. With Indiana Jones, they did it with Luke Skywalker. Just. If you want to make a movie about like a female archaeologist, just go do it. You don't have to turn Indiana Jones into a punchline in order to put that, that amazing Miss Maisel lady or whatever into a cave. Just write a story about her in a cave looking for artifacts or whatever.
Well,
so this nerd reviewer that I like, he said, the Superman thing, it's not, to use, I hate this term, but it's not super woke. It's also not bad. It's kind of fun. He said it was all just kind of like mid. It's okay. Yeah, it wasn't like this thing that's going to completely reboot the DC universe and give us something now that Marvel just keeps stepping on rakes.
Well, here's the thing. We'll get to that in a second. I'm just wondering where's this Justice League movie, which was supposed to include the Legion of Doom and all that stuff, from Super Friends on Saturday morning back then was my favorite cartoon. I'm waiting. I keep hearing about it, but I guess it's not. I don't understand it.
I think they just don't have a vision. Like they've tried to introduce these other characters in the Justice League. Okay, so Wonder Woman, I love that movie. The original,
first one, even the second one was okay. The first one is fantastic, by far the best DC movie as far as that goes. I'm not including the Christian Bale Batman movies. That's on a whole other level. But
exactly.
The Wonder Woman movie is spectacular, absolutely spectacular.
Yeah, I love them setting it in World War I.
Yeah.
Where she comes from this island of warriors, and then she sees
right out of the comic
war.
book. Yeah.
And what war has become. It's just mechanized, and they're fighting over nothing, and there's no like glory or honor. They're just like in the mud and getting shelled. And she's like, "What is this?" And I thought that was super effective. And you can put Gal Gadot in anything. If they said we have a 2-hour film, it's Gal Gadot sitting down just reading a book, I'd probably go, you know what? I'll watch that. Just look at her. When you look at her and all the problems of the world go away.
She is the one. I mean, she was perfect. I know what my favorite line from that movie is. So she's talking to Christopher Pine, Steve Trevor, the pilot. And he says, well, who's your father? I never met my father. My mother sculpted me out of clay. She goes, my mother sculpted me out of clay and Zeus approved.
Yeah, she did a good job. I really, that's a 10 out of 10 for me. No notes.
I love that. It cracked up.
Yeah.
Those are the lines that I can really love because I was like, gee, and it was so her. It was great.
Well, when the people in charge are trying to get these projects off the ground, Justice League, trying to keep the Avengers going after Endgame or whatever, that they're completely bereft of ideas when they go, the heck, well, let's just do a multiverse. Which they did with The Flash. They just, The Flash, I mean, not to give anything away, but I might as well.
Well, you can give it away. They did the same thing with Doctor Strange.
Yes, exactly. Where they just bring in different versions of these characters, which they had to do in comics. Every 10 years or so, you had to kind of restructure how your comic was. So you'd have this alternate world, Earth 2 or whatever. With that, they just go, hey, you know what people like? They liked Michael Keaton. Let's have Michael Keaton's Batman show up. And then they actually had like TV Batman pop out. Like the Spider-Verse pulled it off somehow in a weird kind of funky way. Nobody else has been able to replicate it. Like I said, the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was just a hot mess from beginning to end. And they had to abandon it, and they're still trying. They've had so many false starts now. And then we're going to do the Thunderbolts, which I've heard is kind of okay. And then
my buddy sent it to me. I watched it. I went into it with Bad. It's a good cast and they're funny and I think it's worth a look. But they are clearly now, I think at the end, if I'm not mistaken, who they're going to form up a partnership with? It looks that way. The Fantastic Four people.
Okay.
That's going to be like the new Avengers, I think. I thought that some of the old Avengers were going to come out in some new movie, but it looks like the Fantastic Four, which I don't really,
Yeah, here's the buzz on that. And I loved the idea of it's Fantastic Four. I read those comics. I mean, how many hours I spent in the back of my mother's station wagon. Yeah, and it was weird. It was of a certain time. And so they to set it back in that time is really kind of cool. But then they have to go, all right, we got the Silver Surfer character. I know. Let's
Who's
have
a woman in this one is a woman,
right.
the man.
Let's have the girl from Ozarks,
Yeah.
you know, play
is that
her.
who it
Right,
is?
that's who we need. Yes, and apparently too, that it's all Sue Storm's story. It's all just around her. Again, Hollywood can't help themselves.
And
They
she's
can't just
pregnant.
say,
She's pregnant in the movie. Like her character is pregnant, if I'm not mistaken.
"Ay vey." You know,
Yeah.
like why? Okay, just take this what it is and embrace it. If you want to make a movie about a female who's the head of a group of 4 people, just go do it. She's not. She's the one that has certain powers, and her and
her
Reed
husband's the
Richards
leader.
are married, and she's Johnny Storm's sister, and
Yep,
all that.
yep.
So, but you know what? What we really need to do is not have this guy, this genius scientist who like understands like they can unlock the secrets of the universe. No, we can't have him be the center of it. Excuse me. They're the Fantastic Four, and he's called Mr. Fantastic, but he's the side character. Like, just stop.
Reed, poor Reed, he gets downplayed in this movie.
Yeah, and I get the feeling this is going to continue Marvel's losing streak, which has only been interrupted by movies that technically like weren't theirs. That came from other studios or whatever. So that's Deadpool and Wolverine, which had been established, and they just kind of bought the rights.
Very funny.
And then the Spider-Man, where they brought back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. That one. Okay, so those were great. There was some nostalgia with those. But when they have tried to do some of their original stuff, the way they were doing it during the Avengers, saga, it's just cost them a fortune. No one went to see Thunderbolts. No one went to see oh gosh, it was the Marvels,
that was awful. I didn't see it. The last Captain Marvel movie was awful. I watched it for 5 minutes. I'm like, this is a joke.
Yes. And then they tried they did a TV series. It was like Nick Fury and that was no one saw it.
When the Avengers were hot, they did the TV series during the first and second movie, maybe the first and third. It was good. It was called, I forget what I think it was called.
Was it Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
That was a good show.
Yeah, no, it really was.
And it was behind the scenes with this other group of. They weren't as superpowerish as the original Avengers, but it was in line with what was going on. They always had the timeline in sync with background. Once in a while, Nick Fury would make an appearance, or they'd mention the whole. They do it in passing. They didn't overdo it. They didn't try to totally pillage the movies and the characters into this series. It was a pretty good. It lasted like 4 years, I think.
For sure. And you know what else was good was Agent Carter.
Yes.
So Captain America's love interest, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, maybe it's just because it's her, and again, a woman I would watch do anything because she's got certain, as Seinfeld put it, she has some of the qualities that have a certain appeal to the superficial male.
Yes.
Haley Atwell, that was fun. But then even Kevin Feige, who runs the whole studio, said it started to become like homework. Like you couldn't watch the new Doctor Strange sequel unless you had seen the one where the witch there, the Scarlet Witch
that series sucked. The one with her and Vision, and she created that whole universe that was like in Mulberry Street, just maybe we should say.
It was freaky, and I was like, okay, every episode is different, and now they're in a 60s sitcom, like a Dick Van Dyke type thing, and now it's like a 70s family thing. What's going on here? And then in the end, she was torturing a whole village full of people because she was sad because her children, who, by the way, never existed. It was like,
never existed in the movies.
Right. And it turned out were just artificial in the first place or something.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay. And then they spun off with the Agatha character.
Yeah. I never watched that. I never watched it.
No, I think, again, by that point, people were like, you're just making it too complicated. Sometimes you just want to watch 30 to 50 minutes of television that isn't tied into any other thing. I don't need to have to remember what happened in that other series that I didn't watch. And then I heard She-Hulk was a disaster in that respect too.
Awful. I'll tell you what was good. The only thing that's good that's come out of that is Daredevil, that last Daredevil series, which I have, and you can get it on Disney. There is cursing and violence beyond belief for Disney programming. I'm talking about decapitate. I mean, Daredevil is a badass. The people around him are real assholes, and there is nothing except blood and guts. Good acting, by the way.
Yeah,
but it is not something you'd say, "Oh my God, the Disney is promoting this," because they let them have carte blanche, which is amazing to me, to have all that violence in a Disney, and the Daredevil is a series. It's very, very good. I recommend it highly.
Yeah, and I would say the best work that Marvel has done in TV is
Yeah.
the original Daredevil series. That's
Yeah.
great. And Vincent, I can never pronounce his name, but Vincent D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio, yes.
Yeah. As Kingpin,
Yep.
he's just maybe the most underrated
I think
actor we
Kingpin
have.
on this series is excellent too. He's very, very good. They almost look identical. You know, is it? I didn't even know if it's him. We talked about the same guy. I forget, but because I know there were a couple of Daredevils. The
Yeah,
last
no, it is the same guy for sure,
Yeah,
and
okay.
it's the same actor, and
Yeah.
and the fact that they even went to do a Daredevil after Ben Affleck
It's Daredevil Reborn.
so much,
Yeah.
the Ben Affleck one was just
Yeah.
horrendous, and they actually got a sequel, got a spin-off sequel, but it shows what can happen when people who really like these characters, really have respect for them and the stories and the audience can just give them some creative control and let them do their thing instead of having a bunch of people around a boardroom just going, again, put a chick in it, make it lame, they continue to do that. They just released this one. Oh gosh, what is it called? Oh, Ironheart. And it was all made about 5 years ago. And they realized it was a disaster on the hand because they just have this spunky teenage girl who, I'm smart too. I can do things just like the boys. And they say, totally not comparing herself to Tony Stark. Well, I've seen enough of the trailers to know that that's exactly the premise. It's like, hey, Tony Stark did all these things, who, by the way, died saving half the universe.
Died and also had to have a transplant because he had shrapnel going into his because he got blown up in the desert. I mean,
yeah, and it was hard.
It's not like he wanted to be a superhero.
Right. So they have established this is like the 6th teenage female genius in the MCU who just like no training at all. She's just naturally can just build all this stuff. And there's clips where she just keeps saying, Tony Stark was a billionaire. He did this because he's a billionaire. I'm lucky I can pay the rent or whatever. No. Yeah. Tony Stark built this in a cave with a box of scraps.
That's exactly it.
Because he was a genius and changed his whole life. That's what makes the first Iron Man such a great movie because it's so grounded in reality. All you have to do is accept that this tech is possible, and that's not hard to do. And his character arc is he doesn't care. He's a narcissist. He just is a hedonist. All he's about is himself until he sees these soldiers get killed from his tech. And he has this motivation to change everything and to try to like help people. And it's brilliant. It's not just, okay, Captain Marvel shows up. What's her power? Everything. Oh, she worked really hard to get that? Nah, it just came to her.
Yeah.
Okay, what's her weakness? Doesn't have one.
Really
wow! I'm so fascinated. Yeah, and they
although Thanos gave her a good fling in the last movie, and then but she recovered. He threw her like through a couple of rocks.
Yeah, and then she went like that. Blew up her bang back up over her forehead, and she was good to go. And then he did one of those insufferable. The term is Mary Sue. Mary Sue is a fictional character who just can do it all and just has powers because reasons. And they had one in the Ant-Man sequels where it was like, I think it was the Michael Douglas character's Hank Pym's granddaughter or something. And she's just super smart. And give her a soldering iron, the next thing you know, she's building an invisible rocket that can do warp 10 or whatever. It's like, what? Like, stop. And you know that they're smart because they always remind you how smart they are. Like the characters around them all say, well, You're a genius. We know that. So you know what I need? I need a little bit of toxic masculinity back. Just
Yeah.
at least leave masculinity. Give me just a shot of toxicity into it, because those are the guys who always save the world. Whether it was Duke Wayne or Clint Eastwood or whatever, like they were the ones that kick bad guys' ass, kiss the girl, and then they had to go ride because they're loners or whatever. I need a little bit of that instead of plucky teenage high school girls who can do anything.
The Jerry Thornton joining us here in Barstool Sports. A few more minutes here, Jerry. Actually, we'll get into sports with you in a little bit. But I do, the one movie I refuse to see in the theater, I will not go see the Island of Misfit Dinosaur movie. I won't see it. I've been rooting for the dinosaurs to kill as many humans in the movie as possible, even though I love Scarlett Johansson. The movie is flopping, which pleases me. But I can't believe they did a fake island that I don't remember in the book at all that exists, but I call it the Island of Misfit Dinosaurs, the crossbreeding that went amok, awry, whatever you want to say, fucked everything up. And if I was in the movies watching this, I would cheer every time somebody died, because I want people swallowed whole, as many as possible. Go dinosaurs, eat humans for this absolutely ridiculous movie.
Yeah. The original bears up to so many repeated viewings. It was one of those moments where filmmaking took a huge leap forward. Like, I saw it at its premiere, and I went to work the next day, and people said, "How was it?" And I said, I won't spoil anything. I'll just tell you, Steven Spielberg has real live T-Rexes. I saw them. They were real. Right? Yeah. And it's still fresh and new every time you see it. And
I agree.
Every sequel that's come out has been.
The second one wasn't bad. After that,
it was not bad. It was still Goldblum at his Goldblumiest, and it Vince Vaughn and stuff. And it had a plot, it had a premise. Pete Postlethwaite was like this big game hunter. It was good. They come up with the Jurassic World, and you go, okay, maybe this is going to kind of work. But at that point, you just realize, I don't care about any of these people. They're not fleshed out human characters. And you're right. And then Scarlett Johansson has the audacity to come out and talk about how, a lot of my early roles were because of the male gaze and just being objectified and stuff. Oh, okay. So one of the most attractive human beings on the planet is upset that her career has benefited from her objective beauty. Okay. And she just passed Samuel L. Jackson as the highest grossing actor or actress in the history of Hollywood. So spare us how you're upset about and it's funny how she was worried about, having those roles where the male gaze was a factor right after she turned 40.
How about the Black Widow suit that she had? I mean, and she played that role perfectly.
Iron Man 2 with that.
I couldn't see anybody else doing it.
Oh yeah, the fight in the hallway in Iron Man 2 where she takes out the henchman. Yeah, that was like you're pulling your collar out in the theater. Like, ooh, did the children enjoy that? Because I saw it on a whole nother level than that. Right. And this speaks to this Jurassic Park sequel thing, speaks to something that I'm noticing a lot. I have a lot of friends who keep trying to make bad sequels happen. I've said to my friends, please stop trying to tell me Jaws 2 isn't bad. Please stop trying to tell me Jurassic World Part 2, World Dominion or whatever isn't bad. Like, why are you so invested in telling me that these watered down projects are awful? I might just start doing it. Maybe just go, you know what I really love? Caddyshack 2 is a bad reputation. You know what I mean? I thought Jackie Mason really explored that character.
That is the worst sequel ever made.
Yeah. And I'm not against all sequels. Some of them you just kind of go, okay,
there was no way that movie could be remade. No way. You know the story of the original Caddyshack, the end scene, the explosion? Did I ever tell you that story? Do you know the story behind the story?
I know some of it, but I want to hear your specific.
They could not get approval to blow up that golf course outside of Fort Lauderdale. They couldn't get approval. They couldn't get permits for it. It wasn't going to be allowed. So they staged the studio, and what's his name, the director, and a lot of the cast staged.
Harold Ramis. Yeah.
Harold Ramis put up these huge tents about a mile away, I guess, off the set, and invited every single police and fireman locally to join the cast for lunch and drinks and blah 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 blah. And they said, "Fuck it." While they had seduced all of those people over there, Harold Ramis says, "We're doing the scene." They did the scene, and as they're doing the scene, first of all, the Coast Guard was flying, doing their routine thing, and thought that they were being attacked and called it in. Like there was an attack going on, and then all hell broke loose. But they got the scene done. But that is a true story. That's a true story.
As I recall too, I think there was an element of there was an airport nearby, so they're basically setting up pyrotechnics on the flight path. And the FAA would like to have a word with you. Hey, but I did a podcast series back in my EEI days with friends of mine. We counted down the 100 greatest guy movies of all time. Caddyshack was number one, and I'm proud of that. We have no debate over that. It's the greatest guy movie of all time. And speaking of movies that were on that list, I have a problem with reboots too. Where you okay, this is this wonderful piece of like 80s pop culture. All right, let's make a whole new version of it for modern audiences. They tried it with Total Recall. No one cared. No one identified it. And so when I heard they were coming out with one for The Running Man, which is a fantastic, kitschy movie, I was like, really? No, there's no way this could happen. But then I said, the director is Edgar Wright. I love his movies. He did Baby Driver, and he did the Cornetto trilogy, the Hot Fuzz and whatever. And Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which is a great comic book movie. So it's him, and it's Glenn Powell. And there's a dude I like. Like he was in Maverick. He's been in a lot of stuff. And I just found out yesterday he's the guy in Dark Knight Rises when Bane takes over the stock market and he grabs this guy and he slams his head against the screen. That's Glenn Powell, which I didn't know.
Oh my God, did not know that.
Tom Hardy literally did smack his head against the keyboard, and they're going, "You want to do another take?" He's like, "Oh, okay." But anyway, so the trailer looks amazing. It really does, because it's not just that TV studio thing where, Schwarzenegger every 7 minutes gets to say one of his kill phrases, like he cuts a guy in two with a chainsaw. He had to split. Sub-Zero, now Plane Zero. He literally sets a man on fire with a flamethrower and goes, "What a hothead!" Oh, that was great. But anyway, this one they set him loose, and he has to survive for 30 days while people there's a money prize if you're the one who kills him, and they have cameras following him around. It really looks like a fantastic twist on this whole thing.
Angel Martinez, you have, I know you have questions or whatever, input.
Listen, I'm just going to put this back out there again. I mentioned it to you guys. I mentioned it to Jerry. You guys are going to be the now playing at the movies review with Pete Siskel and Jerry Ebert, because I can't put the names up there of the original guys. But no, listen, I keep saying over and over, I don't know how you two are not doing this either on a weekly or at least a monthly basis, because it's so great to hear like movies, which is absolutely true, the stuff that we loved. And then you go and you change the narrative. It's like, come on, just leave well enough alone. And it just drives you bananas. And I do want to see Superman, but I don't want to see a woke Superman. I just don't. I guess
it's not that way. It's not that way. It's not that way. From what I understand, it's gotten great reviews.
I hope you're right, because they stepped in it a few times, given interviews where they didn't want to say "and the American way" or "okay, now it's an allegory for immigration" or something. Like, okay, just stop.
Yeah. But I'll tell you what scene that they left in the Henry Cavill Man of Steel, which I think it's a brilliant scene, and it gives me goosebumps when I still see it. Before he's found himself, but he's in church and he's talking. He doesn't know what to do. He's not sure how to handle General Zod or anything, how many people are going to get killed. And he's talking to the priest, and the priest says to him, while he's talking to him, in the background, off of the windows in the church, is a whole. If you look at the angle, is Jesus, and it's absolutely making some sort of, because obviously superpowers and everything else. And at the end, the priest just says to him, and I forget the whole conversation, but he's like, look, he's like, sometimes you just have to take a leap of faith. And that's where they show Henry Cavill, and they show the part of Jesus on the glass in church, the stainless the glass, and it is like, and they shut for like 3 or 4 seconds, which seems like an eternity. And I'm like, man, I am stunned that they left that in, because God forbid, it's any other God they would have left. But I was pretty impressed that they left. It's a great scene.
Yeah, well, my son, the one, Jack, the one we call Pope John Francis.
He is.
So he goes off to Franciscan University in Ohio, and I'm kicking through the bookstore, and I found one. I bought it. It was it's called From Star Wars to Superman, and it's all about biblical allegories in science fiction stories, and it's interesting, and I some of them are more overt than others, but you just see how the classical themes like that, Superman, there are parallels to the
what about Anakin Skywalker with the midichlorians and a virgin birth from his mom? I mean, that was kind of very underplayed, except for Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan saying, I've encountered a virgin in the Force. I mean, they kind of like, it's kind of like, and I'm like, oh my God, is this the second coming? Anakin Skywalker is going to be the new Jesus?
Sure. So that's why the New Testament's the most influential story ever told. Not a story, in my opinion, completely nonfiction, but I see how a fiction writer would say, okay, there's universal themes here. Sacrifice. Harry Potter. J.K. Rowling said that if you know the Gospels, then you know where my story is going. And you look at it, after I'd heard that, and I actually heard that from, of all people, Norm Macdonald. He was one of the judges at a stand-up series. It was a competition show, kind of like American Idol, but for comedians. And this guy did a joke about if you can talk about Jesus, why can't I talk about Harry Potter or something? And someone said, oh, that's very brave. And Normick says, no, I don't think it's brave at all. Actually, I think it's pretty safe. And if you listen to J.K. Rowling, she's a Christian. It was like this stunning moment of him just opening the kimono and letting us know what's really going on inside him. Well, you watch the end of Deathly Hallows Part 2 now with that understanding. And he willingly goes to his death to save everybody else. And he's afraid, but he's being visited by the ghost of his parents and his uncle and his God. And I watched it recently, and it was on a whole other level. So I could see where the Superman could include some of that if they would just stick to that and not say, hey, you know what's really important to people this month? Let's put that in there. They're like, in 5 years from now, you're going to look at that and go, yeah, that's pretty.
I had never seen the Harry Potter movies in the movie theater, except for the very, very last one, for whatever reason, because I had to kill some time. But then I went back about 3 months ago, and I watched them all from start to finish, all 8 of them. And they're well done. It doesn't get me like Lord of the Rings does, or some of the Star Wars movies, but they're very well done. And people don't realize. I mean, J.K. had to use. She didn't put her real name in because she wanted to be taken seriously. She thought if she put her real name in as a female, that she would not have sold the books, and probably none of this ever would have happened. Which DC Fontana did the same thing for writer for Star Trek back in the day.
Oh, right.
She did that too. I forget their real names, but I mean, she did all that. Before I get your opinion on the Red Sox and where we're going, last thing, I'm going to really geek out with you. If you, and I think the novel is out there, but I recommend the audio book. I had on Amazon, I had like 4 free books, right? And audio books. And I've never really been an audio book guy, but a lot of times now I find I put them on while I'm trying to sleep, or having my or whatever. If I have a long drive in the car, which I really don't anymore, I'll put it in the car. You have to have the audio book Plagueis. It is all about Darth Plagueis the Wise. Remember in Revenge of the Sith? Did they ever tell you about Darth Plagueis the Wise with the Dark Lord of the Sith, blah, blah, blah. And basically it's Palpatine or Darth Sidious basically saying how he killed Plagueis, who was the most powerful Sith ever. They should make that book. If they don't make that into a series like they have everything else, they're crazy. because it is unbelievable. It talks about there's a part in the book. This freaked me out because I'm listening to it. I'm trying to picture it. This woman wants to abandon this baby to send it to Palpatine. And in the audiobook, they call him Palpatine, then Darth Sidious. But Palpatine. And guess who the baby is? And they describe it in detail. A red and a red and black tint with horns.
Oh, so it's Maul.
It's Maul, baby Maul. He adopts baby Maul.
Aw.
No, not aw.
He's dressing him up, playing catch with him in the yard, taking him to the little Sith park, pushing him on the Sith.
But I'm
swing.
saying they've made every other side story into all these great and a lot of it unbelievable. I mean you gotta get the book or get the audiobook Plagueis. It is fascinating, absolutely fascinating. How if they don't make that into a series, they're crazy. Because you can make 3 movies out of that book.
Even like some of the Star Wars animated series they've done on Disney are
Clone Wars are awesome.
Yeah. Clone Wars is fantastic. Rebels that they did after that was fantastic, and that all dovetailed eventually into the live action Ahsoka series, which was somehow a swing and a miss. It had a great cast. Everyone in it was good. It just was. They just slowed it down and made it dull. There was all sorts of staring into the middle distance for like 5 minutes at a time. It was really strange. But yeah, the animated stuff. If they did a series like that with this Plagueis thing, that we really only know from that one scene where they're watching that weird live show with
they call it an opera in the book, just like we just saying it's a space opera.
Opera. Okay, yeah.
It's all you hear is and it's like a little amoebas like floating around in the air, whatever they are.
Yeah. The Jedi did not want to tell us about Darth Mages. Do you know how he could defeat death and he could save your Padme? And it's so because that was really where the prequel trilogy really hit a gear.
Right there.
Is that when how he's being manipulated and how he takes this like emotional guy who's way out over his skis with the powers that he has and whatever, and he understands exactly how much powers he has. It was just fantastic.
But the Plagueis thing starts with Plagueis and how he was so in tune, and then it just how he meets Palpatine. They do that, and then it goes. The manipulation between both of them is unbelievable, and how he gets to be in the Senate initially, and it gets into all of that stuff. It's really fascinating, right up until Palpatine kills him, and it builds up to why he kills him, how it went down. The description in the audiobook is unbelievable, how it happens, and how Maul, Darth Maul ends up being his apprentice, and then it incorporates at the very end how Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan were sent as delegates initially in the first prequel in Phantom Menace, and then at the end it talks about Anakin and Qui-Gon dying, and then Obi-Wan. It talks about those two and the power, how they're worried about Anakin. It's really good. I recommend
everything you're describing shows that this is a whole galaxy, that fictional galaxy. There is lots that they could do. There are lots of stories. And then they hand this thing to J.J. Abrams and he goes, okay, we're going to have a space station. See, it's a big sphere and it can destroy a planet, but it's got this little trench that's vulnerable to a little hole. Like, wait, didn't they do that twice already? And like, oh yeah, no, that's cool. And then at the end, who's the big bad guy? Like the scroll from the final movie just says, "The dead live!" Exclamation point. That's how Palpatine comes back. Like, why is Palpatine coming back? Oh, it's Rey's grandfather.
So when Darth Vader threw him into that big thing and Revenge of the Jedi, a Return of the Jedi, I could still see him fall. And I don't know, somehow he lived through, and we never saw where he landed. So maybe he did. We never saw where he landed.
Yeah, and they even have Poe, who's one of the halfway decent characters in
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
I say halfway. He was not
Yeah.
fleshed out either. Where he just goes, he basically looked to the camera, like, you know, kind of a side eye wink thing, like, yeah, he returned somehow. And that's it. And it was like, it was so awful. Like,
Yeah.
they had so few ideas that they said, how about the idea of like Palpatine getting busy with, like,
Yeah.
you know, Rod Dog and Ray's grandmother? Like, really? Is that what we're doing? He couldn't strap
Oh,
on a
man.
little space prophylactic here, a little, you know. It's my light rubber, you know.
Oh man, you're the best. I'm trying not to get too sucked in with this Red Sox team because I know this series, what's coming up after the All-Star game at the Cubs, Dodgers at home, a couple of series with the Astros, Kansas City, a lot of first place. So I've circled August, I believe 13th. The 14th, I think they play Miami. Things starting to. So if they can go 500 the rest of the way till August 13th, Jerry. And now they got the top wild card spot right now. They can go into the second spot tonight if they win. Hopefully, Garrett Crochet. Tough pitching matchup tonight, though. Rasmussen's a good pitcher for Tampa Bay. But I'm trying not to get too sucked in, but you know, I am.
Yeah,
I'm sucked in, but I'm cautiously optimistic.
yeah, I think you and I are both not those people that are predisposed towards just thinking the worst. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that's so like
Yeah,
98.5 the Sports Hub
it's
thinking
so
like,
easy.
oh yeah, oh you're
Yeah.
optimistic, caller, huh? Well, this is
Yeah.
why you're stupid. Everything you
Yeah.
like is awful. I'm not
Yeah.
wired that way.
Yeah,
I
me
just look objectively at this team,
Yeah.
at this roster, and I go, I'm just not seeing it. Yes, they're on a winning streak. And I just feel like it's fool's gold. Like over the course of 6 months, you're going to have streaks where you look way better than you are, just like you're going to have streaks that make you look like you're way worse than you are. But I just think fundamentally they're flawed. They don't know how to run the bases. They don't know what
They've been
base
better. I
hits
agree with you. But they've been better late. And last night, out of this winning streak, last night's game was the best one, because even though when they take a lead, which they're 22 games over 500, I believe, when they score first, but they were trailing last night late, 3-1, and they made that comeback. That's something that I don't think they would have done a month and a half ago. You know, so that was to me during the 7-game streak, that was the most impressive win was last night.
Yeah, and I get sometimes it takes a team a while to figure it out. I mean, if you really want to go back into history, 2004, they were just treading water. And the myth is always that once Varitek shoved his glove into
it was 10 games after that. 10 games after that, where they were 5-5 after that stretch. And
it wasn't just some like flip a switch, this magical elixir, because you know he gave a Rawlings sandwich to A-Rod, who so hated them. But the other thing is, and I shouldn't be looking at the past. I really shouldn't. But someone posted the other day, this was the Red Sox batting order in 2003. And you're like, holy moly, what a just rock solid top to bottom. And I look at theirs now, and it's there's just nothing there. Like there's guys that are capable of getting hot, and I like Duran and whatever, but
Raphael, I mean, they're gaining confidence, it seems, and it's carrying over to, hopefully it carries over to these other teams. And I kind of liken it. It's a little bit different. Tom Brady's first year with the Bucs when they went to the Super Bowl and won it. But if you remember, they were playing okay. Then the last 4 games they played the dregs of the NFL and blew them all out. The last 4 games, blew them all out. And I said, this is where they have figured it out. Wait till the playoffs come around. They're going to be unstoppable. End up being that way. Now, this is maybe not quite that situation, but maybe it can be. Maybe what I just hoping is I still fear about Alex Cora fucking up this lineup, especially Bregman coming back. He's definitely coming back Saturday. But whatever it is, the mixing and matching, I heard Sam Kennedy talk about it 2 nights ago. And it kind of frightened me. And then they're going to go out and get another pitcher, maybe the guy from St. Louis, I forget his name, and maybe another right-handed bat. But I'm a little worried still about how Alex Cora is going to mix and match some of these things. And if indeed they're going to make a trade, because you can't play everybody, and it can only platoon so much. I mean, because there's like 4 guys on this team that you could platoon, and I don't know how that's going to. So I mean, you got to give up something to get something. I've heard Abreu Maybe you've heard the Duran rumors. I don't know. I don't know, but I do know that they're gaining confidence in the front of watch, which is right now all I care about.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a long summer. It began when the Celtics went out. Really, when Jason Tatum got hurt, you go, okay, well, summer's here. All right, the Red Sox, the floor is yours, and they weren't responding. And now that we're starting to round into NFL training camps, whatever, okay, they're kicking it in, and it's always good to hit the All-Star break feeling like, okay, we've figured it out, and it certainly seems to be that on the surface. I'm just afraid that this might just be a false hope. Like, okay, they got a little extra gas in the tank, and it fired out out the exhaust, and it gave you some momentum, and then ultimately you just start misfiring again, and that's what I'm concerned about, and making stupid mistakes and bad fielding across the board on all levels.
But they haven't done that. How about the
I would also
relay throw the other night, like 2 nights ago? That was executed absolutely perfectly. That would not have done it. They just seem to be. They're doing all the right things for now. But like I said, look, it's this series at the Cubs for 3, at Philadelphia for 3, home against the Dodgers for 3, at a pesky Minnesota team for 3. Then home against Houston. Then home against Kansas City, another first place. At San Diego. Then at Houston. And then on August 15th, I said they get a little bit of a break against so circle August 13th, as I've said. That's they can be 500 between now and then and still maintain this wild card, which I think they could be. They'll be in good shape. But there's not a harder, tougher major league schedule for anybody the rest of the way than what the Red Sox have. There just isn't.
Yeah, and I look at that and I say, can they get through that with the same 5 pitchers? Yeah. I know I'm going to sound like an old man, but I long for the days when you would have tickets for a game like on Tuesday and it's Wednesday, and you count ahead and you go, oh, okay, I'll probably get that pitcher, barring a rainout. Now it just feels like a set of crochet. Like you don't know from week to week or game to game, series to series, who's going to be taking the mound. And it's been forever. And it's, it's maybe just the state of the game. But if you can roll out the same 5 guys and get some kind of momentum going that way, and then save your bullpen, get just some decent starts out of them, everything else can possibly take care of itself. But when you're constantly trying to figure out, who's a fresh arm that we have, and it's still only July. I mean, a lot of the things that we're talking about, the cutoff throws and the bad base running and the fielding, that's like 3rd week of spring training stuff. And they're putting it together in July. I guess better late than never, but still, Cora has not been at his best this year without a doubt.
No, he's been better lately. Like I said, cautiously optimistic. All right, what do you have going on? Stand-up comedian that you are. You do a lot of charity stuff. Anything going on? And by the way, you just got back from Washington, D.C., right?
I did.
That was great pictures you had.
Oh, long story, but I had written about, there's this congresswoman, a second termer from Florida, named Anna Paulina Luna. You can look up her Maxim swimsuit photos. I would recommend. I watched that because my life is so electric. I've been rewatching old MacGyvers. I love that show. And there was a young Terry Hatcher on one episode. I'm like, it kind of looks like the congresswoman, but she's whip smart, very impressive lady. I did an article about how she was put in charge of releasing the JFK files info, and I'm fascinated by the JFK conspiracy theories. And so her staff member reached out and said, do you want to have an interview with her? Sure. So we did a little Zoom call. It was terrific. And then they said, would you like to come down and visit? Absolutely. So the Irish Rose and I packed up and we went down there, and they got to meet with her. And if I can real quick, we'd chat with her. She left a congressional hearing. She was very generous with her time. In the middle of talking to her, ABC News calls her over, and it was just boom, boom, boom. She has all these points. He's talking, extemporaneously, like setting the record straight on this. I'm like, this is an impressive lady. Then comes back to start chit-chatting with this imbecile. And so I go, thanks for your time. And she was having a staff member give us a tour of the Capitol, which was amazing. So I go, can we get a picture before we go? Yeah, absolutely. We need a flag. She's like, we need a flag. Okay, let's look around. So she and her staff are looking around the Capitol building, looking for an American flag. And I said, not for nothing, but isn't this the United States Capitol? Like, aren't we looking for sand at the beach here? She goes, I know, they should be everywhere. So anyway, she opens up a conference room. There's people milling about. And you have any flags in here? And this guy looks at her and looks at me and says, Jerry Thornton.
Oh, nice.
I'm from Weymouth, same as you. I'm like, no, he goes, I went to Ralph Talbot Elementary, same as you. And she looked at me like, what's going on? And I said, I did the Ron Burgundy. I don't know how to put this, but I'm
kind
of a big deal. And she's like, wow, apparently, yeah, I'm big in DC with the, but by the way, no one from my elementary school should be in the halls of power, I'll just say. But no, it's an amazing city. We were down there the week of them setting up for the parade, which I was all for. Anyone who objects to celebrating the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army can just F all the way off.
Yeah.
It costs a lot. Really? Okay, fine. Every quarter of a millennium, I'm willing to shell out to celebrate these people who've saved the world 1,000 times.
So your son's a veteran too. So.
Yes, he was with the Marines. We were hoping to get out to visit the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, but DC was under such restrictions. But yeah, it's an amazing city. We got to go to the archives, and someone hooked us up with a private tour of the archives too, and that was cool. And made as many national treasure jokes as we could possibly fit in, as everyone does when they're there. And Pete, I come away from that going, here are the founding documents of the United States. It's the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. 5 pages, all hermetically sealed in this blast-proof vault and everything. Together, they're shorter than the Apple Terms of Services.
Oh my God.
that thing you scroll down to check. Yes, I have read and understand. They built an entire country, the shining city on a hill that is the beacon of hope to the world, on just 5 pieces of paper. It's unbelievable. I'm not ashamed to say I'm very proud of this, and we should all be more grateful than we are.
Absolutely. That's awesome. All right. What do you got going on in your life?
I'm enjoying the summer. I'm doing less comedy, but I will be down at down the Cape at the Katuitt Arts Festival doing comedy down there. I've got to show up at Volcano Vineyard in New Hampshire after that. I'll be down at Pier 1 on the Cape, which is one of my favorite comedy venues. Yeah, I'll sprinkle in a little bit here, but I'm just trying to live that life of leisure before
Cape Cod baseball, maybe the Katuitt Kettleers, I believe.
Yes, that's exactly it. That is such a great take. I love Cape baseball, and I got to get down there because, as Shakespeare said, summer's leaf has far too short a date, and we got to make the most of it up here. You guys are down there in paradise year long, so you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Well, it's Lightningville now. I mean, it's Lightningville. Oh, by the way, I put the video up earlier this morning in Quincy, 93, both sides, north and south, flooded. So it's traffic at a standstill. Absolutely flooded, both sides. So
that
was about an hour ago.
Friggin' Massachusetts, man. I don't know. The rest of the country spent $27 million to build us a tunnel so we can shave 15 minutes off our trip to the airport, but we can't deal with a flood, with a rainstorm.
Well, we love it. Barstool's doing great. Portnoy's crazy. I love him. And it's awesome. Love having you on, Jerry. Thank you so much. Always gracious with your time. I always think we'll do 20 minutes and into being an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah. Like that. No one else is interested in talking to me. So Pete, Angel, man, you guys are great. I had a blast. I hope we get to talk again soon.
Absolutely. Say hello to the Irish Rose, the beautiful land, and then we'll talk soon. Thank you so much.
All right, fellas. Take care.
All right. Bye-bye. I forgot. Oh, damn it! I forgot to end with the Superman music, but anyway, that's gonna do it. I'm still not sure if I'm gonna go see the movie this weekend. There's probably too many little kids. I don't know. Depends.
I want
to see it in IMAX. which is $25.
I
I haven't
know.
done it in a long time, but
I do too. I'm still on the fence.
yeah. Well, I've seen nothing but good reviews about it, so I'm trying not to read. Anyway, Angel, what else you got coming up this week? What we got coming up today on the network?
The Sheila and Kevin variety show. That will be right after you here at 10 o'clock with comedian Rob Haney, so comedic writer Rob Haney. So he'll be on. Today's Friday. Then, of course, the replays as usual over on sr1029thegame.com. Always check out the website because there's always something new, something entertaining up there as well. And you guys can even get a discount on your coffees when you guys visit freshroastedcoffee.com. Promo code MAC20, and then you can get some, good discounts.
Fantastic. Angel, you are the Superman of the network, of the Coastal Sports Network. So thank you. Thanks to Jerry Thornton from Barstool Sports. We're back Monday at 7 a.m. here on the Coastal Sports Network. I am Pete. Thanks, everybody, for listening. You guys are awesome. And tell your friends, please come again. I'm back on Monday, 7 a.m. Bye-bye.